And we're live. All right, time to do our sound checks because my equipment has been moved all over the place. And yes, there's no game sound right now because I'm leaving this on screen for a moment. Lupe's Revenge. We finally get the weapon in from that Lupe promised as a reward. Hello, folks. I am playing with Beta 220 right now, so if you're starting to see stuff you've never seen before, that will be why. Oh, you can hear me out. Fantastic. And Oscar Fry, you can, if you're talking about Algernon, you can kill everybody in the Gunner Vault if that's the way you want to go. I don't recall if that makes it so that you can't agree to side with him, or you might still be able to. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, you still get to do like the sequence that you've probably seen before or seen on YouTube. You still get to do that even if you go in killing and murdering everyone. All right, now to see if I want to use Lupe's gun. How does it compare to my current weapon? I think my current weapon's better. Oh, that's my shotgun. Where's my mid-range? This guy? So the damage is way better. Oh, it's always hard to judge that, isn't it? Because it's got energy damage. So that's actually 45 versus my 51. But the fire rate is better. The range is better. The accuracy is better. The range is significantly better. I mean, this thing's like basically like a sniper. What's the range on this compared to my sniper rifle? Range 197. Yeah, this thing's got better range than my sniper rifle. That's crazy. And better accuracy too. How much ammo do I got for this? I have almost none. Well, we'll hang on to it for now because it's a nice little gift. Although, man, is my inventory full of garbage. I need to go sell some stuff. I actually should go deposit all of these extra items I got too. Overlay blocking half of the screen. I don't understand where that's coming from. How is that overlay blocking? That is weird. It's like streaming half of one monitor and half of another. All right, let's see here. No, we don't want that one. We want this one. Let's see, maybe if I try this. No, that's the same thing. What is going on, game or OBS? What did you do to me? Let's see here. Try that. There we go. That looks better. Transition. There we go. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, it's weird that it's blocked by the YouTube website. Because, no, it's my browser's on a different screen. Like the OBS decided it was going to superimpose both of my monitors on there as best it could. That was really weird. All right, put this away. Oh, this is a nice home. What one is this? This is Skyline Apartments. I'm used to seeing them. Like I've seen all of these designs at levels 1 and 3, but I rarely ever see the level 2. Like this is level 2 because level 3 I know is pretty huge. Yeah, this is level 2. That's why I hadn't seen it yet. Good morning, Carvac. All right, let's see here. Where is? All right, so I need to take care of my inventory while we're in this pre-stream time. So as usual, I'm gonna kind of get myself mentally prepared here until 9 o'clock. So let's head over to Diamond City, I guess. We'll do some buying and selling because that's not very exciting for anybody. Oh yeah, I've got the stream is on normal latency today, so there's going to be like an even worse delay than usual from when I respond to your guys' chat. So it's going to be the normal King Gath's slow delay and then also the latency delay. How's the choppiness today? I know that we had a big problem with that last week. I had to redo the stream. Are we in better shape today?
Long-range rifle lets you stay in cover and out of sight, but you might want a secondary weapon for flexibility.
Let's see what you got.
Don't forget to stock up on ammo.
Here we go. All right, what can we get rid of? You can have that and that. No, I like my mines. Oh, you know we need to get the legendary signal on Margaret here too. I need to remember to add that keyword. Let's see here. The never-ending radium rifle. That's actually pretty potent. I think I talked about this last time. This might end up being a good replacement for one of my other ones. You can have this piece of junk. I don't think I need Righteous Authority. I think I made this thing better. Is Righteous Authority if you upgrade it? Because critical... Oh, that's right. Do critical shots, do double damage. I'll say, can I upgrade it to make it just the same as this, but legendary? Because then I might as well hold on to that one. All right, what can we sell from apparel? We wanted to keep that. What is my weight? What's going on? What am I carrying? Purified water. I guess it's all those weapons. I've just been hoarding weapons. I need to go set myself up a player home somewhere. Oh, I got a lot of junk too because I've been looting like crazy. Yeah, I need to go dump that off all somewhere in a workbench. All right, and then we'll get the rest of your caps with some of these garbage rounds. Let's see. Yep, you can have those. Oh, too many. Too many. Give me some of those back. We want 11. Sure, you can have one freebie. Yeah, that's fine. All your caps, buddy.
Things not as straight.
How about you?
Hey, Myrna.
Every piece in here is worth what
So far, so good on the stream. Fantastic. You can strip the better laser rifle for parts to upgrade the legendary Righteous Authority. Okay, cool. I should do that.
Let's take a look.
That sounds like some nice pre-stream stuff to do here. I'll go upgrade my weaponry. Let's see. You can have these. And you can have these. And all of those. I actually usually love using a gauze rifle, but maybe I won't this playthrough. And... ta-da. So I've been playing about one night a week. I've been playing Skyrim, and I decided I was like, I want to try leveling up speech. I've never done that before. What a pain in the butt that skill is to level. You have to like individually. There's like a weird quirk with the game where the speech skill levels up based on how much the items you buy and sell cost, but it only counts the first item each time. So I have to like sell an item, back out of the barter screen, go back in, sell another item. It's really irritating. So I'm glad I don't have to do that now. Who else can buy some bullets from me? What about you, buddy?
Radiation poisoning is a common ailment, but we can cure just about anything.
Yeah.
No, wait, I didn't want that button. Wrong button. I wanted barter.
One at a time.
Never mind.
Actually, never mind, Doc.
Very well then.
Hey, Doc.
Let's get you.
Oh, Mama Mercy dropped off with her drop off. Let's see if she made a discovery. Was Mama Murphy lucky enough?
Examined right away. Time is not on the side of the surgeon.
There's still time. It could still happen. Oh, maybe because I'm in conversation, it's going to hold it off.
For the road.
All right, but go easy on the chems.
It could also just knock out when I might have rolled poorly. And some of my, like half of my tests, because I've been playing with this save for testing out the new patch, about half the time that Mama Murphy one comes through and I end up getting a discovery. Well, let's see, what else do you have? Yeah, I guess we're not going to hang on to plasma since we've kind of not been doing so far, so we won't use. I guess we'll drop Lupe's weapon and Margaret's off somewhere. Let's see. All right, let's head back to... Yeah, I guess we'll use Sanctuary for that. 100% happiness. You don't know how to mod the game, so Skyrim's speech skill works better. So the nice thing about Skyrim is every mod you can imagine exists already. I haven't even started playing mods. I'm still enjoying the vanilla game, which is nice. Like it's still, it's literally, I don't think I've played Skyrim since Fallout 4 came out. The only other, I played New Vegas for a little while since Fallout 4 came out because I was planning on playing Frontier, and then Frontier got hammed for all of the weird stuff in it, and then that kind of turned me off, and then I got busy, and I just never got back to it. Let's see, let's store all our junk. But yeah, I haven't played Skyrim in however long that is. When Fallout came out in 2015, right? So it's been at least 7 years since I played Skyrim. So it's been a nice trip down memory lane. I guess we'll put this radium rifle, and they're not going to use it anytime soon. All right, we're going to try and convert. Wait, did I just put away the wrong one? Nope, that's right. Okay, we're going to try and convert this righteous authority and take the parts off of this guy. Let's see. Craft, modify. So we just give it like, well, actually I should look at Lupe's and see what it's got on it. Or I mean, righteous authority and see what it's got on already. So it's got a standard, so we want to take the boosted off. All right, you can have this. Give righteous authority the boosted. There we go. It's got a long barrel, full stock. What do we got here? Improved short barrel versus long barrel. I don't actually know what the difference is. So improved damage, long barrel is better range, improved damage. So the long barrel is just straight up better. Okay. Marksman stock. That sounds like it's better than full stock, right? Exceptional sighted accuracy, better recoil and aim with scopes, improved bash. Yeah, that's an upgrade. Okay. So move that to righteous authority. There we go. All right, standard sights. What do we got on? Oh man, it's downgrading its name real quick. Yeah, reflex sight better than that. All right, standard sights to reflex sight, and then I don't think I have a muzzle, but let's double check. Oh yes, I do. Beam focuser. All right, and that one's a cheap one. One of the only ones you can just swap over. Okay, and then we'll take this guy and a plasma focuser. Okay, so now where are we at with damage? Over improved laser pistol. Alright, inventory. This is how little I use the... I have no idea what's happening with the... Yep, okay, that definitely was an improvement. I use the weapon workbench so little when I play this game. Alright, get you. Now we can sell you. Alright, what do we got? Okay, we got plenty of weight capacity. We're doing good there. Hello, everybody. But we will check... Let's see, I think somebody said I can check... Can you sort? I don't think I can sort all of my tabs though, right? There's no, yeah, there's no like tab to view everything unless you have a, what do you call it? Like def UI. So I can sort by weight, but it's only per tab. All right, can we sort? Oh, it resets the sort every time you change tabs too. What a pain in the butt. Okay, well, I'm feeling better about this. I got quite a lot of space. Oh, I can drop off all these mods, too. I can sell the mods. All right, let's head over to... all right, we got 9 minutes left before we're getting things started. All right, where do we need ammo while we're dinking around? Looks like I got plenty of fusion cells. Shotguns are pretty good. All my ammo's pretty good because I haven't been doing a ton of fighting. I guess I don't need to keep... I keep holding on to 308 because I'm just used to that. But what's my... I think I switched to 50 cal, right? Yeah. So I can swap out all this 308 for some more 50 cal. Not that I really need it, but why not? All right, let's head over to Good Neighbor, I guess, and we'll sell off the rest of this garbage. Oh, follow behind on messages as usual. Carfox, so Green Top this month. Are you excited to see what people build there? Somebody told me you built a bunker, so I'm excited to see that, Carfox. And those of you guys who've been in the playing of the city plan contest, or if you guys have run into issues with the new build limit tool, Yagi-san and I worked a lot on it this morning, and I got it working a lot better. So I think we should be a little more close to reality. Jason Lockrantz, if memory serves, you took your kid to a movie last week instead of stream, right? What movie did you guys go see? I didn't go to... Yeah, we kind of went to a movie. So we went to a showing, like a... So, like, where I live, they do... There's a lot of cities that do this. They do, like, these outdoor big screen... They play old movies up in, like, parks and stuff. And we went and watched the Lion King. The new... what do you call it? The live-action version, which... Man, as a kid, having watched the original when I was a kid, like the new live action one is horrible. I hated it because I just wanted every moment to be like. And then they brought back James Earl Jones, but not the rest of the voice cast. So I was like just disappointed the whole time with the nostalgia. Well, my kid loved it, so it was fun.
Let's see what you got.
Murder and mayhem at a discount.
All right, what do I got for you? Let's see. I got some. You can have these and this and that. And some of that. I had one more thing I was gonna... Oh yeah, this laser pistol. All right, now what do we get in return since you owe us some caps, lady? Let's see. Do you got any 50 cal for me? Yes, you do. Okay. So I get plus 161. That seems like a win to me. I feel like I should just grab some shotgun shells, though. I feel in every playthrough, I inevitably run out of shotgun shells at some point. So you can have 100. Actually, let's see. I like to walk away positive from every transaction. Let's see if I can pull that off. You cannot have my jet, but I don't ever use Med-X. Saving a Mentats just in case you can have my Psycho. What else you can have this corn. That's nice for you. Buff out. Yeah, I don't really use buff out. You can have those. You can have some. I feel like blood packs might be for a quest, but oh well. Alright, that feels pretty good. Okay, I feel like we're in good shape now. Let's get our quests ready to go. So we were going to work on Tradecraft because I'm trying to get. I think Tradecraft is the quest. If we complete that, it unlocks 2 or 3 settlers from the Ron. We got 1 new settler from the Ron here. We need to get the Brotherhood to show up, which means I have to actually go do, what do you call it? I have to continue with the main quest. Okay, Gremlins experiment is done. We're making some progress here. Okay. So I am gonna keep just doing like vanilla quests and Ron quests because the public beta is out now, and I was gonna start playing it on here, but I don't want to spoil all the new content that's in it for you guys. The first, like before you even get a chance to experience it, because most of you probably aren't gonna play the beta. So I'll probably Yogi and I will probably talk about some of it because I know he poked his head into it, but I don't want to show it on screen until after you guys have had a chance to talk about it. So I think right now our internal plan is to release that patch for real. Not this Friday, but the Friday after, so the 15th. So over the next like 10 days, we're just fixing bugs that people report. And there's a couple more things we're going to try and squeak in that are pretty easy to add based on the framework we've now got. But I think for the most part, if you guys want to try out the HQ 2.0, it's ready to go. It's in there. All right, so we got Gremlins thing, Deacons thing. Where is... Oh yeah, and then Revere Satellite Array to get Rob Lambert. Okay. What's this one? Oh yeah, the check raise some sensors at West Everett. Okay, cool. All right, well, I guess while we got a couple more minutes, let's bop over and figure out why our settlements have no population yet. What's going on here? Corey B, would you mind talking about how Patreon works for your group? Is it technically a company for tax purposes? I'm a moderator for a different game and looking to set up similar for my own team. So I just set up a Patreon because, so like Patreon with Bethesda is weird. They don't want you making profit on your mods, but they're okay if you're collecting money to cover expenses. So for tax purposes, like basically it just hits my personal income tax, and then I just pay the taxes out of the Patreon account, and we just put all the money in an account so that we have the money for the tax coverage and we can cover everything, and then we're not, like, nobody takes a cut of it. So that's the Bethesda rules. You'd have to look into the game that you mod for to see how they handle that kind of stuff. But I know Bethesda's is specifically like you're not supposed to profit from it. But as far as like setting up a company for tax purposes, it depends on where your income is. Like if your income is at a point where making however much you'd pull in from Patreon will put you into the next income bracket, which, might be the case, then yeah, forming a company would be a good idea. But there's also, there's a cost to forming a company. Like I have companies formed because that's what I do. I have a business. And I have to pay then to have 2 tax returns filed. So like my personal and that one. So then you have to pay, like if you do your own taxes or do your own business taxes, no problem. And then like depending on what state you're in, it probably changes whether it's worth it doing it, or if you're, depending on your country, if you're not in the US. So it's hard for me to answer that. I would say you should probably, if you're doing Fallout modding, I would say at bare minimum, just, make sure you put on your Patreon page that it's just to kind of help cover the costs of development, because that's Bethesda rules. And then as far as business setup and everything, that's going to be up to your location. If you anticipate making a decent chunk of change, like if you're got a popular mod group, then forming a company might not be a bad idea, just so that it doesn't hit your personal income taxes. All right, we got 2 more minutes till 9 before we get started. So let's see here. Where is our Recruitment beacon, or do we not have one? I guess I can find out by looking at my radio. Recruitment radio beacon, okay. I should put recruitment beacon in the tracking software for the mod. That would actually be really useful. Because sometimes you just want to go check and make sure it's powered on. And with city plans, it's hard to know exactly where they stuck them. My bet would be it's going to be up there, though. Well, let's go take a peek in here. Oh, what's going on with the lighting? Must be a fan up there? Yeah, I'm not seeing a recruitment beacon. Maybe I need to build a new one. And what just tried to talk to me? Oh, that was the plot. I could have sworn I saw. I felt like a dialogue wheel popped up for a second there. Okay. Oh, there it was. It's found it on the back porch. Hiding back there. Is it blocked off? The city plan was just like, nope, you don't get to mess with it. It's staying on all the time. Oh, you have to go through the back door. I got it. Okay. All right. It's on. Good. We're good shape. All right. Now, where was the next one? Oh, you know what I'll do? I'm going to turn on... Where's the city planner's desk? Did this even have... I'm pretty sure we built a city plan here. This does not look like something I would have designed manually. You guys probably saw it and I wasn't paying good enough attention. I might be giving up on this mission just because we're about to hit 9 o'clock and I want to get into the questing. Let's see here. Nothing. No see. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, let's head to local settings here. So options. Because depending on what patch it was that I set this up, it may not have the rules set up the way I want. So let's do... Let's see here. We will plot of grade costs are fine. I really just want to turn off dynamic needs here. Yeah, they were on because I probably started this before the city plan defaulted. All right, I just want to turn those off because that way they'll start building up everything without me having to fix all their inconsistencies in what stuff they decided to build. All right, guys, welcome to the stream. Today we are going to continue with our mission to collect all of the SS2 settlers because the HQ 2.0 patch is right around the corner. So at this point, I think there's enough to keep me busy before we go into there. Just doing like some main quests to unlock more characters that I can avoid spoiling the new content for those of you guys who are not brave enough to play the public beta, which is available now. If you go to the forums on simsettlements.com and you go to the latest news section, you'll see I posted a link where you can download that from a Google Drive. In fact, about 15 minutes before I started streaming, I started uploading an update to that. It's still the same file, same link, but there was a script that got screwed up when I did the last merge before I posted it this afternoon. So I just re-uploaded that. So if any of you guys downloaded the version 13 beta, you might want to download it again. And it should be uploaded by now because I've been streaming long enough. It only usually takes about 15 minutes to upload those files. So version 13 of the 2.2.0 beta is up, and it's got some nice toys to play with. Fixed a bunch of bugs. Thank you guys who've been reporting them. So those of you guys who are new to this stream, the way we do this, well, the way I do this, I guess it's kind of weird. Tonight we got a guest, is for the first half of the stream till about 10:30, I will just play the game, and I will occasionally peek over at chat, but I am really notoriously bad at focus on the game and chat simultaneously. So it's basically if there's a character talking or there's a load screen, I'll poke my head over to the chat and see if there's anything I can answer. Otherwise, I focus on the game. Then at 10:30, switch gears, and I bring on a guest, and I basically ignore the game, and it just becomes background footage, and we just chat. And then I'll also engage with you guys in chat a lot. The Yogi is the guest today. Yogi is at a time I think held the record after me for most forum posts. Probably does if I add up both of his accounts. And has been just an awesome, helpful community member and has released some add-on packs. And we're going to chat about state of the mod tonight, and probably answer some questions that he's probably got about, direction and what's going on. So I think it'll be a fun chat. This almost feels like just having a talk with a fan of the mod, a critical fan, because he's got things he loves and things he hates, which I think all of you guys do, and I'm really excited for talking about it tonight from that perspective. So that'll be a fun thing. We're gonna do that at 10:30, and for now, we're just gonna go collect a bunch of settlers. The one last thing I'll mention is if any of you guys wants to super chat, all of that money, as we were talking about with about the Patreon earlier, we also do the same thing with any donations that come through YouTube. The money just goes into account to help cover development costs. I do not keep it for me personally because there are too many people on the team that would not be cool to do. And as I also mentioned, Bethesda rules prohibit it. But if you guys super chat, I will definitely catch those regardless of what I'm doing because those pop up real big on my second monitor. All right, let's head over and do Watchful Eye. We were headed in that general direction. We're going to go... Actually, I should probably go to County Crossing because by now I'm betting all those super mutants respawned. I remember I fought those like way back when because I remember I lured over the Atom Cat dude to help me out killing off the super mutants, but I'm betting they respawned by now. Here we go. Wait, what's that smoke? What is exploding? Oh, we must be catching an upgrade. Oh, I know what's going on. Okay, so those of you guys who have ever had it where it seems like there's plots stacking up on top of each other from a city plan. If your city plan... So one of the funny things about city plans that we had to deal with in the code, it's happening right now, is that... Oh, I love the explosions in this. It's so fun. So one of the things that happens with upgrades, and it happens with plots too, is we cannot remotely destroy items. So instead what we do is we kind of record all the things that would need to be destroyed, or we record like, hey, this plot probably has items that need to be destroyed, or this city plan probably has items that need to be destroyed. And then that gets stored in a list, and then when you arrive in those settlements, the code tries as quickly as it can to clean up anything that's a mess. And with city plans, it can be a lot of items, and if you have a lot of scripts running, or if you're on a system that doesn't have a lot of CPU power, you can come back and it can take like multiple minutes, if not like 10-15 minutes to clean up everything. So one of the things I recommend, if you come in and you find that happening with like plots stacked on top of each other, probably a good sign you should not play with automatic city plan upgrades on. You should probably turn those off and just manually upgrade your cities when you show up at them, just because of the mess it'll create. And if you want to leave them on, because I love the automatic city upgrades, I think it's so fun to come back and see that they've changed. You can just plan on like parking your character here, like once it starts, and just walk away, go do something else for a little bit, or hang out in the settlement like I'm doing, just kind of wander around and watch all the upgrades unfold. Yeah, you'll definitely be hit with a lot of script lag after showing up in a settlement that has those double plots because it needs to clean them up. Jason Lokrantz, thank you for the donation. Always appreciate it. Thanks for limiting the spoilers for the upcoming content. Very excited to see it someday. Yeah, I'll probably play it like right after. So if we release on the 15th, I'll probably play it on stream on that Wednesday after that. Just because I'm super excited to show it off. But I'll give everybody a few days to have tried it themselves. Like, you know, when it comes to Chapter 3, like I'll probably be pausing streaming for a couple of weeks, if not a month. After Chapter 3 comes out, because I will just be buried in bug fixing and everything. And so there'll be a nice buffer before I show it off. But with this stuff, like it's not as big as a 3.0 type of patch, like a big overhaul patch. It's a big patch. The HQ patch is one of the biggest that we've done as far as amount of work that went into it. But it's not so big that I feel like you guys wouldn't be able to, like, everybody will be able to experience the new content in a couple of days, within a couple of days. It's not like a weeks long thing you're gonna have. I mean, I guess it depends on how much time you want to spend in new HQ. But Carvok, thank you for the donation. Yes, this month at Greentop, I have hidden the settlement and made it an underground bunker, as I have challenged to make an Institute themed settlement, and I wanted to try this for a while. Okay, Institute theme is tough with the build kit we have, right? There's not a lot of Institute themed stuff. Okay, now I see why I have to disengage from chat, guys. I'm so easily distracted, but thank you guys for the donations. I really appreciate it. All right, let's head over to the satellite here and kill off some more super mutants. Let's see, did they respawn? I would have assumed by now they would have. No, maybe not. Oh, yep, I think I see one. Hey, buddy. Oh, I totally whiffed. Oh, because I was out of AP. Let's try that again. I really need to catch up on my breath here. I think I'm supposed to, actually I think I was supposed to listen to a signal. Let's see, was I supposed to listen to the directed signal? Yeah.
This is a message to the Vault Dweller.
Oh, real quick, do you guys need me to turn up the volume on the game? Is it too quiet?
To the bunker in the back of Revere's satellite array.
There we go, got the aggro now.
This is a message to the Vault Dweller. Come to the bunker in the back of Revere's satellite array.
I'm working on it, Rob, working on it. Gotcha. Oh, there he is. I was like, I know there's no one around here. Get him, doggo. Hold him still, though. Thank you. Alright, I know there's somebody else. Anybody? No? Stuck in combat. Game is a bit quiet. Okay, let me turn that up. Audio. Oh yeah, I had it turned way down. Oh, that was everybody. That felt too easy. Nope, there is some more people there. We just got out of combat somehow. Okay. John Geddes, thank you for the donation. I love what you and your team have done to Fallout 4. And did you get my messages on Twitter about my Twitch stream at Knife Alternative X on Twitch? Is that something you sent recently? I usually, anytime somebody I've definitely watched a lot of Twitch streams in the last couple of weeks. Our team has been passing out clips, so I may have already seen yours, but there's been a lot of people streaming it lately for whatever reason. I think it's because Dan's Gaming started streaming it, and that got interest up in it, and also the because he's got like a crazy amount of viewers. Like thousands at a time in real time when he's doing it, but also probably because everyone's interested in Bethesda games right now after the Starfield preview. But we've been seeing a ton of people stream some Settlements 2, which is so cool. So if I will go check my tweets and make sure I did see yours though, because I definitely want to check it out. I love watching your guys' playthroughs. Please share them with me. Oh god. Are we being attacked from behind? No? Why? It felt like a laser was coming from this direction. Whoa! Where the heck did that come from? I hear fighting off to this side too. Okay, I think we're good. I feel like I missed out a lot of loot there, though. No, I'm already reloaded with everything. Just mad gun swapping here. Alright, can I make this? Is this a realistic jump here? Let's do some air control. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can find Rob here. Is that better on the game volume, guys, or do I need to go a little louder? Yeah, I thought there was another guy here.
You, stop. Come to the monitor.
Just a second, Rob. Busy.
Gotta come out sooner or later.
You're the one who needs to come out.
Must have been nothing.
Oh, there's multiple still here. Oh, oh. Where you at? Oh, there he is. Still more. Whoops. Whoa. Alright. No. Oh god. Let's see if I can get him to shoot his own feet. Come on, fire. No? Alright, how about this? Okay, how about... Nope, come on. Oh, I'm out of grenades, are you kidding me? Alright, how about... Molotov. Haha!
You, stop.
Gotcha.
Come to the monitor.
Yeah, I know, Rob. Hold on, I'm busy. Can't tell if I'm getting him with the flames or not. Oh yeah, real slow death. This guy's got a lot of health. What? Who else is up here? Or did he switch guns and I just can't see it? Nope. Nope, he didn't. Who was shooting the machine gun? Alright. Alright, let's try this now. Uh-oh, did I break this quest? I waited too long? They didn't like that?
Need the password.
Oh, there's somebody still alive over here. I think I might have just broken the quest. Alright, we just had someone a second ago. There he is. Used to be an adventurer like you, and then I took a 50 cal to the knee. Oh, there he is. Look at all that armor he's got. Oh, dog meat. That's on you, though, buddy. Alright, I don't know why I picked up that missile launcher. Let's get that out of here. Drop. Power armor. Oh, I knew I was gonna find a fat man eventually, but now I'm just happy that I managed my inventory, so I don't want to mess with that. Another day, maybe. Okay, let's try our luck again with this. Maybe I can get this working now that I'm out of combat.
I need your
There it
help
goes.
to escape.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, who are you?
My name is Rob, and I'm the only survivor of this godforsaken place. I've been alive and monitoring the surface as it all went to hell.
Depending on what you need, I may be able to help.
Fuck yeah. The commander of the National Guard Armory put this place on lockdown. I can't get out of here without his passcode. It should be in his safe, in the back of his office.
Fine. I'll do it.
Great, let's get started. Just get the commander's passcode. Should be in the safe in his office.
There we go. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I tried to speak to the intercom. It wasn't working. I think it, and we must have like a flag to not let it start during combat, or maybe the scene just ends as soon as you get into combat. I don't know. All right, let's head over to the training yard. Okay, there it is. I was like, why isn't this showing up on my map? Ooh, what's in here? Do we have any jet? No. Oscar Fry. So I just had an idea. Should get Jake Evans, Aiden, and Algernon to put messages on Minuteman Radio Freedom about how the Minutemen are here to help and ask the Minutemen about ASAMs. I don't know if we could hijack that. I don't know if we could do that with that signal. I think we could probably, like, I guess you could, like, take over a radio station and just disable the vanilla one is how you could do something like that. I don't think you could inject in without some serious vanilla edits. We have talked about doing something like that with HQ, of like introducing some sort of radio broadcast of attacks of our own, especially because then we could tap into it with like the mechanics that are coming, or like announce the attacks from the HQ raid system, which you guys will get to play with soon. Okay, in we go. Oh, I guess I don't need a sniper rifle for indoors. Hey, buddy. Oh, you're just a corpse. Okay. Can I scurry up this thing? Yes, I can. Oh, yeah. Look at him. Who does he think he's fooling? Still tried to play his animation of crawling down. Nope. Can't trick me. Stupid safe. Alright, that was easy. Oh, we got a buddy over here. Hey, little guy. Hey. Oh no! We crashed! Crud. Did not expect that. Wonder if that was. I wonder if something's going on in County Crossing that caused that. Maybe we have a. Maybe we got a nice power grid corruption. All right. Oh, good. We got an autosave in there. All right. Let's see what happened. You can never take my jet, Quester. I'll be holding on to that forever. Till I huff it. Alright, get this guy again. And let's see, and you... Anybody else? I know there's a couple more in here. I'm stuck in combat. Alright, grab the password. I didn't need the pen, but... yep, take all those for sale. Okay. Alright, let's go save over here. In case I need to do some power grid hacks. Alright, now I just want to kill whoever's left in here. Oh, hey, you got some loot. Where are all you guys coming from? Okay. Alright, let's try this again. So we'll do save LP. What are we up? Day 26? We'll call it mid-session. Alright, let's see if we get another crash. Or if it was just a fluke. Fallout being Fallout. Okay, not a power grid corruption, just a fluke. But let's go take a look at it, because it looks like we definitely just got an upgrade. I don't know if that was... If we saw the whole thing already? Or I wasn't just wasn't paying good enough attention? Let's see here. I can't remember if this is what it looked like or not. Yeah, I think it did. The fences were there and everything. Okay, yeah, this has got to be level... This might even be level 2 already. Where's our desk at? I think that's over here. Level 1 or level 2? It's giving me level 2 vibes. Let's see. No, level 1. Cool. Which one is this? This is ROTC, right? Yeah. Very cool. Okay. Off to rescue Rob. And we can just fast travel over there now since we've slayed the big green menace. Every stream, I consider again installing a coffee pot right next to my desk. All right, we got you, buddy. Got you covered.
I knew you'd be back. Did you find the passcode? Can I get the fuck out of here now?
I don't know. Can you continue with the dialogue, buddy?
I knew you'd be
There
back.
we go.
Got it.
You got stuck there.
Activate the terminal. Can I get the fuck out of here now?
That was weird. All right. This is an extra dirty terminal. There we go. And he just pops right there.
Thank you for getting me out of there. I really appreciate it. I noticed that bottle caps are the accepted currency now, so I collected all the ones down there. I also have a lot of knowledge on the post-war Commonwealth and pre-war security. I'd be happy to work for you.
Okay, let's send him off to our mountain of people.
Thank you for the
Sunshine.
help.
All right, that was voiced by Sir Rick, written by Apocalypto. What has Rob got going on for us? Oh, all right, he's going to be a great security guy. We could also put him in admin. He's got some nice stats. And we get a new building plan. Man, the building plans, like the level when we use the level 1s for the unlocks, are always so sad looking. Like who the hell wants to use this thing? All right, let's head into down in here and see if there's any loot to grab, because this is actually a custom cell we made. I think that the original quest design we had it come down here, and I don't remember why we moved him up there. It must have been to fix some sort of bug. But like, this is actually a little cell that Business Vulture made for it. Yeah, we'll grab some money. Why not? Got access to some cameras. This is a little sad, but oh, what has he got down there? Some oil? Sure, why not? It's a shame you don't have any jet down there. I guess he'd have used it by now. Oh, but he left some goodies over here. Alright, up we go. Install the coffee pot, you coward. I think if I did that, I would also need to put like a water cooler in my office just to make sure I get enough water in me. I experienced a kidney stone for the first time. I don't remember when that was. I probably told you guys about it when it happened, because it was since I started streaming, and I was told number one way to beat that is to make sure I keep my water intake up. And if I've got nothing but coffee at my disposal, I would just drink coffee all the time. And I do not want to ever experience kidney stone again. That was the worst pain I've ever been in. I would rather break a limb than deal with that again. Where are all these super mutants hiding? There's like 400 of you up here. Let's see. Gotcha. Oh, I can see his feet. Well, let's see. Can I shoot his feet? What do you think, bud? You want to come out? Alright, we'll take that free XP. Alright, we got Rob. Let's see who's next on our agenda. I think we need to go talk to Gremlin next. So let's head this way. 23 people in Sunshine. What is my charisma at that it's letting me put so many people there? Some hints to the Enclave in the small bunker. We are, I won't say we're anti-Enclave on our writing squad. We just like, we've already got enough references to old characters in, and it's like, you know, some people like strongly dislike some of our references, like the Gremlin reference. I know people love Gremlin, but I've heard plenty of people are also like, oh, why does she got to reference all the stuff in California? And so the Enclave not being in this game, I feel like I'm not a huge fan of referencing them.
Hi there.
Oh, something else.
I'll be back.
We're not ready to recruit to HQ yet.
Hey, hi. Have you got a minute?
Oh, she's in trouble. Look at that status.
You might not get it.
What kind of diseases are you rocking?
Amazing. I think I came up with something pretty great. Bet it could fry all sorts of nasties. I don't really have the free space to build it though, and need a whole lot of power to fire it, even if I did. Anyway, just wanted to say thank you again. So, thanks.
Yeah, I think this is the point where we've gotten so many air quote bug reports of like Gremlin didn't give me a reward. We'll solve that one day. We'll figure out the right thing
Can I ask you
to
something?
give so that you actually get whatever she's inventing. Okay.
Hold on.
No, I don't want to send
I'll
you
be
to HQ
back.
yet. So I just want to see.
Just
if
wanted
you
to
got
trade a
anything
few
say.
things.
No.
I
Okay.
can't believe that cricket. She's totally ripping off my thing.
Scan. What kind of diseases are you rocking? Oh, just bloodworms. I can heal that. Do I have? Let's see. Here, have a disease cure. There you go. What is her? What is her stats that she's getting the? Because the little status symbol over there is supposed to have multiple levels to it. Maybe it's just only showing only showing one. Let's see.
Who am I kidding?
Loading. Oh yeah, see, he's got the puke symbol.
Don't let them see your face.
What's Tom got?
Keep it buried.
He's just got the thermometer. So I think it's like thermometer is like a low level sickness, and then the next level up is puking, and then I think the crossed eyes was like near death. So why?
Never mind, actually.
Is she why did she have that? So that means maybe she's got a low endurance, or maybe I've got the things switched around to endurance. Yeah, maybe that was it, because her endurance would have been down to 1 from her illness, or her sickness value would have been at 1. I don't know what it is. So it's basically the hey, little cola. The way it works out behind the scenes, if you're ever wondering how the sickness mechanics work, is their endurance basically can hold off the sicknesses so that they don't end up laying in their bed or curling up on the ground. And each sickness has like a rating to it, and it tends to be whatever the stats are. So let's find somebody with a disease, and I can just show you the math of it. All right, let's scan you. Okay, cool. You got jelly fingers. So he's got -1 agility, which means the sickness is like 1 point of sickness. So that means if he gets 1 more disease of any type, it would be as equal to his endurance. So he would go into incapacitated mode, where he's like laying down. What I don't understand and what's going on here is why her icon was so different. That seems weird, because they have the same endurance score. What about you, Tom? What do you got? He's got a little bit higher, so that makes sense that he would have a different one. So there's something funky going on with those icons. I'll have to put that on my list. But I think I can cure. These guys all have lame diseases that I can cure here. Here. Have a disease cure. There we go. I wonder how my disease cure stash is doing. I haven't bought any of those in a while. I need to find a nightingale. Let's see. Did I just use my... No, I got 5 left. Okay, how about you, buddy? Can you take a disease cure?
We need more beds.
Oh, you're good. You need beds?
Now, isn't this place a sight?
Let's see. Nothing more can be built. Well, we can fix that. Let's see here.
None will escape the great.
Configure build limits. Increase. There we go. Oh yeah, we're short a job, and this place is like rocking now. We've been sending so many high stat people here. All right, we've still got... No one bothered to build that yet. Oh, I wonder if it's... No, it's got enough. I was gonna say, I wonder if we don't have enough residential, but we clearly do. We've got 23 people here. Now let's try refreshing you. Let's see. What say you? Status operational. Let's refresh it. Oh, there it goes. It just didn't build correctly. Do we have Franklin here? Because he should definitely be working his own little booth there. Alright, well, first let's solve our residential. Wait, we got one here that's empty. Let's see, is this one actually built too and just didn't, it got screwy? Refresh plot. Yep, that one's built too. Okay. Alright, where else are we going to stick one? We're on a space here. I'm going to have to start stacking these guys on top of each other. So do we have any level 3 houses that I can actually do that to? Oh look, and that thing started upgrading as soon as I refreshed it. Cool. And so did you. Oh man, everything's going crazy now. Let's see, this one I think becomes a 2-story, so that's not going to work. What do we got here? You can build one on top of this farm. Be a fun place to live. Alright, there's got to be somewhere we can squeeze one in here. Right, building on top of that barn seems reasonable to me. I guess I could do some interior as well somewhere. Man, you guys are great. Alright, here we go. Here's a spot right here. Unused space. Still a little bit of room to walk through. Great. Oh man, our cleanliness. Alright, I guess we'll get a sanitation worker for you guys because you're all living in your own filth. Alright, let's do an interior one because we are short on space here. We'll put it right on this porch. Alright, we need to turn off surface snap. And like that maybe? See how that looks. Still walk on it. Cool. Where the ASM sensor goes. Is it stuck on the wall? Yeah, a little bit. Alright, we should nudge that out a little bit. Alright, let's get this way. Oh, I wanted that thing to stay there so I could use it to position. There we go. Alright, let's do... Nope, nope, nope. I'm not ready for you to build. Did not tell you you could build. Oh, wow, you're like almost done already. Alright, we need... Actually, wait a second. Is this the one we want already? Did it get the right one? Oh, no, it's doing hospital. We do not want the Nightingale Hospital as much as I like it. We want sanitation. Alright, let me out of here. Let me out of here. There we go. Alright, that filled up our jobs. What's going on with this one now? I have to just refresh everything? I wonder if I broke something in the latest code update. Because that is, every single house here is doing the same thing. Is there anybody else who's been trying the beta having this issue? There's a lot of code updates in this right now that I may have tried to fix one thing and broke something else in the process. Yes, pay and build. Alright, we upgraded that one already to advanced. Where are we at with everything else on defenses here? Oh, I like that one too much. I don't want to get rid of it. Nice little level 3 over here. Alright, where are we at with jobs? Is that everybody? I think we already determined that. Alright, well, we'll preemptive strike, assuming we're about to get somebody else here. Stick one right here, really jam all this crud in here. Wait, can we... No, you can't get rid of the outhouse. Bummer. No, that's going to look terrible. I want to do something beside... I don't want to just put another robot pad there, but I don't know where else I want to stick something. Running out of space. There's too many people here. Got to send some of you guys out. All right, Brahmin, I think you're getting booted from your spot here. We're gonna stick it right here. All right, let's see. How about like this is gonna look terrible. Let's see. Let's see how bad that looks. Yep, that's no good. Get that out of there. All right. How about can we build into this rock? No, we want to leave that there. All right, I don't like the cement pad, so we're going to change that out. Let's do customize plot, change foundation. Yeah, we'll do some dirt terraforming. There, that's looking better already. So now we just got to hope that that building covers up the rock for me. All right, let's do advanced defenses. Perfect, rubble bunker. Cool. We knew what we wanted. All right, did our sanitation build, and does it need a refresh now too? This one might need a refresh. What's going on here? Level 3, Toastmasters Pavilion, cool. Nope, this one built all right without a refresh, so that's a good sign. How about our little Martian hut? Looks like it grew good.
People aren't like math after all.
It's one of our feral guards. Very important that you have feral guards in your settlements. Little Cola, how's it going?
Can I ask you something?
I still didn't fix that. Are you kidding me?
Thought, forget it.
Cola just looks at me like, what are you, an idiot?
Yes.
Oh, visiting explorer. Who's this?
Thank you. It's like I can finally think straight.
Thanks for taking care of our water needs, buddy. Okay, what do we got over here? Actually, I should change this over to the other,
A few more houses would do wonders.
A few more houses? Are you kidding me? What are you talking about, man? I got you covered. 25 beds.
Robots, robots, robots!
Where was that from? It was definitely Andrew Docker.
Crops coming in pretty good.
But where did that come from? Alright, you guys are building quite the nice settlement here. I'm liking it. Let's see. Let's refresh this guy because it seems stuck. Refresh. There we go. Man, this place is making me miss the immersion breaker. And we've got our rubble bunker. Fantastic. Alright, so I want to check one more thing here. CBD station. This is advanced too. Okay, I think I want to build the... I'll leave rubble bunker. We'll build CBD station at the next one.
We need more
next
beds.
element. No, you don't, Joe. You are wrong. You are a liar. Alright, let me write down... Okay, I got to write down some bugs for my future bug hunt. Alright, so what did we find today? We found Joe Gallagher really wants beds. That'll go on my list. We've got Cola still can go to HQ. What else? What else am I missing? What did I forget to write down there? Okay, let's see here. I guess we'll save LP Day 26 Joe Gallagher. We can call this because he just won't stop it with the beds. Oh, Crossed Eyes is incapacitated. Yeah, but I could tell. So that makes sense. But she shouldn't have been incapacitated unless. Oh, I guess if the disease she had was -1 endurance, then that would have made sense. Maybe that was it, and I just didn't pay attention to what disease she had. That would make a lot of sense. All right, I guess we'll go talk to Deacon because we're trying to unlock the some railroad characters for our collection. Cola is the background of security. Leave Cola alone. Oh, you think the dialogue gets queued? That might make sense. So I know it's usually tied to the numbers that are on the workbench, but I would have to double check. It's worth checking out because there were so much dialogue to condition that, like, making mistakes like that, I would not blame whoever set up his dialogue because it's so many lines. Like, I know our HQ dialogue is all kinds of butchered as far as how it's conditioned. Because I've watched some Let's Plays where people are getting Lupe and Jake and stuff saying some weird stuff, like asking for things that are clearly already built. So I know there's some. It's on my to-do list to, like, give a good, thorough walk through our dialogues, all of our idle dialogue and stuff, and our miscellaneous dialogue, and make sure that it's conditioned correctly. Because it's unimmersive when they say weird stuff to you. Who's this? Oh, the cat lady.
Best scrap in the Commonwealth, right here.
Okay, just a second, lady. You got a radio on? I can hear Travis. Oh, you've also got some missiles you're not using, so I'm going to just sell those. Maybe I'll sell them to you. Oh, we can just sit next to each other. That's cool. Nope, I just kicked her out. What had happened to her? Oh, yeah, it did sit next to her. I was on the other side.
I buy and sell. Just put up everything you got and let's see if we can make a deal.
Let's see what you got.
I'm going to sell you some missiles that I found under your bed, and you're going to give me some stuff. Let's see. Ammo. Makes me so happy to sell those to her. I don't know why. You can have all this garbage. Okay. Now, does she have anything I want? I doubt it. No. Nope. All right. We'll just take your caps and run. Thanks, lady. Nice cats. Can you sell? Does she sell cats? No. Okay. Are we supposed to meet on the highway or under the highway? I haven't done the railroad quest in forever. Oh, there he is.
Hey. Deacon? Is that you?
Like the disguise? It's Wastelander camo.
This is my pile of garbage, asshole. Back off.
Good, right? You're lucky I didn't do one of my face swaps, too.
You can change your face?
I put myself under the knife every year or two. New face, new body. You know, the full makeover. It keeps our enemies guessing.
I almost didn't recognize you.
That's the point. So, about the job. The railroad's only recently been using the old North Church. Our old base was underneath the Slocum's Joe. We had a pretty sweet setup until the Institute found us.
Your base was under a donut shop?
It's a lot better than it sounds. Well, it was, until it was blown to hell.
Man, I love coming back to these quests after so long because I don't remember any of this dialogue, so it's fun to listen to it again.
Inside a minute, the Institute troopers breached the doors and turned it into a shooting gallery. The survivors didn't have time to grab anything. So we're getting something important we had to leave behind.
What exactly are we looking for?
I'll tell you when we get inside. I know that's a bum deal, but strategic ignorance has saved our organization more times than I can count. We got a tourist nearby. He or she has information on the base, so let's pump him for information before we dive in. For now, I'll take point. So I'm looking for rail signs. Symbols we use to send messages to each other. If you like that, we got signs and countersigns, dead drops, even a secret handshake. Alright, maybe the handshake never got on. Anyway, the tourist should have a trail left for us.
Okay, lead the way.
Here we go. Rail sign. The arrow in the center indicates a direction. So our tourist is up ahead. Let's keep going.
Of course, we can't have an escort quest without some combat. We got some corpses here. Do they got any loot for us?
Got another rail sign. Right there.
Where? I don't see a rail. Oh, I missed it. Up on the sign up there. Some bottle caps on a barrel. I'll take. Oh, hey, look at this. Ammo pile. Oh, yep. So we gotta have some combat. This would be a pretty boring encounter otherwise.
And another. We're probably close.
So I am not demoing the beta tonight. I have it installed. Whoa! But I'm gonna wait because we're probably, unless something goes really wrong in the next week, we'll be releasing it next week. So I don't want to spoil the new content until you guys get a chance to play it yourselves, and then I will play it probably immediately that week after I release it. I mean, it is available now, but you know, only the bravest of souls like to test out the betas. But I am one of those because I'm technically running it right now, just not entering HQ yet.
Look, no matter what he says, you just say, "Mine is in the shop." Trust me.
Okay. What do we got here? Anything good? Nope. Hey, buddy.
Hey there.
Once your friend gets here, how about we have a chat, huh? Oh, thank God. You have a Geiger counter? Do you have a goddamn Geiger counter?
Mine is in the shop.
Who the hell is he? HQ said they were sending one agent, not two.
Sorry, I'm new. He's just showing me the ropes.
All right. The wall is my witness. I thought I was dead. About goddamn time you headquarters bastards got here.
Are you in danger?
I signed on for light recon, but that little Slocum's Joe of yours is crawling with goddamn chrome dome synth sons of bitches. If I haven't been made yet, I'll be spotted when I leave here. I'm goddamn trapped. The front's fortified to hell and back. They place mines all over the goddamn place.
I appreciate all you've done.
I hope it helps. I really do. As soon as it's safe, I'm getting the hell out of here. So if you need anything else, better ask soon.
You're not hanging out in a real safe spot, buddy. You are wide open to a sniper. Oh, Deacon just walked away during that? Okay.
Well, isn't Ricky just a ray of sunshine? You think he's telling the truth?
Speaking of truth, why did you lie to Ricky?
My job in the railroad is intel. That job's easier if no one knows who I am. So, I lied. I do that. So you handled the talky talk, and I got to watch from the sidelines. Go team us.
Why would Ricky lie?
People always got reasons to lie. The Institute could have turned him. Or, more likely, he's just seriously pissed off at us. Take your pick.
Hello, Guru Gaming. Let's see the hacking gaff. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to say this during the top, but usually you guys already cover me and I've probably already said it, but if you guys want me to see your message, make sure you @King Gaff. Otherwise, I'll be here forever trying to catch up with chat. I just read the ones that have my name in bright orange.
He doesn't strike me as the dishonest type.
Yeah, that's my read too. First rule in this business is never go against your gut. So, if we take him at his word, The front door has mines, synths, and probably other fun and exciting prizes. So, we're going in through the escape tunnel.
The donut shop has an escape tunnel?
What? Doesn't everyone have an escape tunnel? Seriously, though? Thank God for that tunnel. If it weren't for that, there wouldn't be any railroad left.
The tunnel has got to be easier than a frontal assault.
Easier, but no cakewalk. You lead us there, pal. I got you covered.
Okay, where is the escape tunnel? Oh, it's right down here. Well, that's convenient. See you, Ricky. Would Deacon get mad at me if I just popped Ricky? It's just like, just decided I didn't like him. I've explored so little of the Institute questline. I have no idea how it's rigged up. I actually do want to try beating the game with them because the ending seems pretty cool from what I've seen in the CK. There's no easy way down, huh? Yeah. Man, I need some endurance on this character. Getting winded every single time I try and do anything. Who's fighting the rad stags? Who do we got? The gunners? Well, you know what we think about gunners around here. Hey guys. Oh, legendary too. That I can't seem to hit. Oh, missed him again. Hey buddy, this is for you. Oh, I say there's never just two of them. Whoa! I don't know how that... Oh, I guess it did hit me. I'm on fire. So how did that not hit me? It 100% hit me. Not helping out, Deacon? Just gonna chill? Where did the body go? What do we get? That seems like just terrible. I'll take some of that. So I think the best thing we acquired was some vegetable starch. Oh, there he is. He's melted. Alright. I really need to reorganize my guns. I don't know why I have my sniper rifle. Whoa, what was that? More gunners over here? Okay, stop getting distracted here. Alright, we're trying to go into the tunnel way over here. I'm not chasing gunners down all over hell and back. Kenneth Creason only in power armor? Oh yeah, that's the only way to shortcut down from there. I'm just used to finding, there seems to be on most of these bridges, there's those little elevator things. Yeah, there's somebody fighting over here. I wonder if I'm wearing my headphones backward again and that's why I can't track the sound correctly. Alright, let's assume that's the case. I'll run away from it and see if I find the person. You know what, I should just look. Hold on, let me look at my headphones. I bet they have a right or left on them. Let's see. Okay, uncertain because I didn't pay attention when I took them off which way they were on before, but now I'm 100% certain I got them on the right way. Now let's see if I can follow the sound of enemies correctly.
What the?
More gunners. Oh. Okay. Now maybe we can finally complete our objective. Now I've stop hearing laser blasts everywhere. So, Hoey, any plans after the HQ patch? It depends. So, like, I assume you mean for patches, because obviously we've got the Chapter 3 coming, but look, the only other thing... About this for a long, long what's this?
I know what I'm talking about here.
Bullshit. You can't just put something between two...
Oh, it's these guys.
Claim it's a sandwich. Does that mean a loaf of bread is technically a bread sandwich?
Technically, yes.
I've only seen those guys. I forgot that's a random encounter. I've only ever seen those guys like up outside of Concord is where I usually see them. But after HQ patch, if you're talking about like big content patches before 3.0, we have a couple of things in development that we started as part of our 3.0 like projects. But depending on when the team involved with them finishes them, we may end up making them releases before then. We also have the mega pack for the season 3 city plan contest we might release before 3.0. So those are the kind of big, there's a couple of big potential content patches, but primarily like my big focus once I've worked out all the kinks with the new HQ stuff is I'm going to go focus on the 3.0 code because some of the team depends on that for them to do their parts of the chapter 3 expansion. So I need to get my stuff done soon. Nope, don't have. Did he just tell me what I'm supposed to do and I just ignored him?
We're in. The back entrance is safer, but be ready for Gen 1s and 2s. So it's time you learn why we're here. We're retrieving a prototype developed by our good Dr. Carrington.
What can you tell me about the Gen 1s and 2s?
The synths didn't start off as nigh-perfect copies of human beings. The Institute had to work up to that level of hubris.
Lennon, what do you mean to port Altair's Animal Farm to Saw? What is Saw?
United on how we feel about him.
Was that maybe an autocorrect for SS2? Because as far as I know, his mod is ported, but maybe I'm wrong. I thought XV ported it.
What's there to be divided about?
Everyone wants to liberate the Gen 3s, the human-looking synths. Some of the synths in the Railroad, like Glory, think we should help earlier models too. But Gen 1s are basically the same as, well, a Protectron. So the line gets muddy. Do we defend AI rights? Terminals? Hell, turrets? Anytime it gets brought up, fireworks. All the old arguments flare up. The upshot is Glory and some others won't run missions like this.
Who's Dr. Carrington?
All goes well, you'll meet him soon enough.
All right, let's go.
Ready to go.
First step is to override the security lockdown.
Well, that's on you, buddy. I can't do anything with that terminal. Are we leveled up yet? Are we close? Not that close.
Well, the terminal's on at least. I'm gonna feed it some passwords. No. 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 Ah, missed one, you cocky bastards. The prototype's deeper inside. Someone left a rail sign here. This one means danger. Yeah, we know.
Movement detected.
Oh.
Curious.
I heard some synth action. Oh man, there's a lot of dead agents in here. Let's see. Hey, buddy. Oh, you guys are weak. I think that rad roach I hear is going to be a tougher fight. No, stop drinking. The water is going to be the real struggle here. Give me all your goodies. Where'd that rad roach go? Was I too stealthy for him? Oh yeah, I do have points in stealth, don't I? And I just never use it. Or I never use it effectively, I should say. Come here, red roach. Alright, thanks. Somebody got him. No, I don't need noodles.
See the box in the center of that rail sign? That means there's a cache nearby. Looks like Maven managed to hide something before, well, you know. Look around.
Hostile sensor reading detected. not escape detection for long.
What do we got here? What do we got here? Chart control. That's not very useful. Sure, we'll deactivate the lights. There's a lot of like mention and stuff in the code for Fallout 4 that they were gonna have a light system where you could like shoot out light bulbs, and in settlement attacks your lights could get shot and then you'd have to replace the light bulbs, and they cut all that at some point. That would have been awesome. This game would be great with stealth mechanics plus being able to shoot out lights. That was one of my favorite. What was the? Was it? Can't think of the name of the. Was it Metro 2 that they had that in? Maybe it was in Metro 1. One of those end of the world type games had really great shoot out the lights mechanics that I played a few years back. I was really digging that. Where's this cache? Does anybody know? I don't want to miss it because I want all my loot. Oh, there it is. Ha. There we go. Okay. Do we get any more? See, it would have been so fun to be able to pop out those lights.
Is someone present?
Nope. That was a Rad Roach with a laser pistol.
Appears to be nothing. Perhaps my sensors need calibration. Hello.
Hello. He says hello. Okay, synth. Oops, sorry there, doggo. Can't tell if that terminal's on or not. Oh, I bet that was like an option to deal with the encounter. Hack the terminal and turn that turret on him. That's probably actually what Deacon just said, and I was not listening to him because I was cracking wise at the synths. Oh, I feel like I just grabbed some non-ammo there. That was a mistake. Anybody else? I could have sworn I heard another synth talking that I didn't kill. Alright. Hack time. Not trust. I'm through. Cool. Easy one. Come on. Get out of the maglocks. There we go. Can we... Is this actual glass, or can we... Nope. Anybody else? Yep. Man, this thing's deadly accurate. What's the range listed on this thing? Oh yeah, huge range. What's the difference between the range and the accuracy score on these things? I would assume like the range means how far you can shoot accurately, but then there's a separate accuracy score. I'll take that, sell it later.
Bye-bye, Gen 1s. Prepare to be shocked. Not every Slocum's Joe has a massive tunnel complex underneath it. We're entering a secret Defense Intelligence Agency research lab, a place that never officially existed. It's called the Switchboard. The prototype is locked up in the heart of the facility.
Oops. Did not mean to grab that. Okay, which way do we go to the switchboard? Is that up through here? Yeah. Alright, can we just get in, or do we need to crack a code or something? No, I don't have... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Dog meat. Don't do it. Oh, good. Take some fiber optics. Thank you. Oh, hey, guys. Somebody else? Synth's hanging out in the bathroom? Yep. Peeping on the ladies' room. Come on, Synth. Oh, there's still more. Where are you guys?
Locked tight.
Okay.
It would appear my target has disappeared.
Yep, I disappeared. I'm a ghost. What the hell was that? Does Synths have grenades? Can they? Do they get those relay grenades so they can summon backup? Because that's pretty cool if they do. Kind of go. They can go infinite.
Excellent.
Or did one of them just explode? No, that's a mannequin arm. So did one of them just blow themselves up? Left their arm out?
Movement detected.
Oh, I missed that one. Get him, doggo! Oh. Give me all this good stuff.
Where's that play button?
Carrington, Stanley, Salis Acrote, Suprema Lex.
Open says me.
Where did you go?
Ooh, bottle cap mine. Yes, please. Why is that in here? That's a weird thing to find. Dog meat. Come on.
So Tommy Whispers didn't make it out. He died protecting our secrets. Let me see.
Excellent.
Some
There.
stealth boys.
Tommy
Sure.
would want you to have his hand cannon.
What?
Don't let its size fool you.
What hand cannon? What are you talking about? Is it laying on the ground or something? What is he talking about? Oh, here we go.
I appreciate it.
May it serve you as well, heck, better than it did Tommy.
Oh, the deliverer. That's right. Sweet.
Grab Carrington's prototype. You turn that over to Desdemona, and she'll have to let you into our merry band. There's an elevator at the end of the hall. It should be a hell of a lot easier fighting the chrome domes on this side of the minefield.
I missed a sneak book. Oh, that's no good. All right, let's see if I can backtrack how far I was when you guys said that. On desk behind me. You probably sent that 10 minutes ago. Because that's how slow I am. Keep it up on chat. All right, stealth book. Where are you? Your desk's there. Maybe in here? No. There's a Jangles. That's not particularly useful. Okay, I don't think in here. Wait, what's in this? No. How about this way? Is it in this first room? Telephone. Bobby pins. Oh, I'm still not seeing this. Where was this book? Alright, I am feeling very blind here. Oh, getting text messages. What's going on here? Oh, okay. Why haven't I? All right, let's see what you guys said in chat. Where did I miss it? Main room after the stairs, the balcony. Oh wow, so way back there. Okay. Main room after the stairs. So is it? Do I need to go up those stairs? Let's go. Let's double back all the way through. Because by the time, let's see, main room after the stairs. Where the hell are the stairs? This room maybe. Main room on the balcony. This feels like main room on the balcony. Yep, there it is.
There we go.
Cool. Thank you. I definitely would have missed that. And we're going to take that globe because I know it's got screws in it. All right, off we go. Nope, bathrooms, that's not what I wanted. Because that's the locked door I can't get in. Come on, well, let's go.
Is someone present?
Nope.
Combat initiated.
It was nobody. Oh, another one. And do I need to do something with this? Power elevator, that seems important.
End of the line. Just power up the elevator.
Done.
Going up.
It's alright, Deacon. You can get to the next one. Ah, the old bookcase. Cool. Let's see, is he going to magically appear? Yep, there he is. So the YouTube like studio app keeps asking me to insert ads. I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound fun for anyone.
Ah, the switchboard. A lot of memories here.
That's all you got to say? All right. Oh, I should have saved before we went outside, since we had that random crash going into the Commonwealth before. Come on. Load, load, load. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Frighteningly long load screen here. All right, we made it. Oh, do we got some more guys up here? Here, turrets. Oh. Oh. Who else? Alright, you take those, Deacon. Oh, there's a turret up there too, huh?
Statistically speaking, your survival is improbable.
Yeah, you got it, Deacon. I'm gonna go loot. Thanks, bud. Okay, what else we got here? Pre-war money. That's a lot of pre-war money to find. Cap stash, awesome.
Hey there.
We got what we came for. Let's split up and meet back at the catacombs.
We made a good team.
The best. See you soon.
The blood splattered on his collar. Dig it. Alright, what do we got up here? Give me some more loot. Oof. Didn't expect that one. Alright, so let's head to Old North Church, and then that should complete Tradecraft, and that I know is a requirement to... Wait, that's Harbor Master. Oh, that's for the brewing machine. Where is the church? There it is. Tradecraft should be the requirement for 2, maybe 3 of our characters to unlock, so then the round should have some more folks for us. And then I think the other ones... So I know there's some unlocked when the Brotherhood show up, and then I think one more maybe unlocks after you go into the Institute. So I think that's as far as you have to go through main quests to unlock things. It's like, get the Brotherhood to show up, and then go into the Institute, and like at least meet Father. And then we should have access to everybody, if I'm not mistaken. Veeks, do I work on some settlements every day? Pretty much every day. Yeah, it's like my primary hobby. It has replaced most of the time I used to play video games, as now I just work on some settlements most of the time. There are some days I take off, like 4th of July on Monday. I was off. Spent the whole day with the family. It was fun. Yeah, pretty much my family goes to bed at about 9 p.m. and then I plop down and work on some settlements until I fall asleep. That is most days for me, and I love it. It becomes like the game becomes how can I make Fallout 4 do what I want, and like that's kind of a game in itself. Here we go.
And the new guy patched me up, put me on his shoulder, and blasted his way through the rest of the complex. Synths everywhere.
Carrying you the whole time?
Amazing, right?
That's one word for it. Deacon told me you single-handedly secured Carrington's prototype, disabled a minefield, and wiped out 100 Gen 1s. So is any of that true?
Go with Deacon's lie.
Every word he said was true.
And then some.
A full 100. I can't even imagine.
See? Just like I said, boss.
I was expecting Deacon to grab a full team, including Glory, to secure that prototype. But instead, just the two of you cleared out the entire switchboard.
You'd be insane not to sign him up, Des.
You've certainly made an impression on Deacon. He's never spoken about, or lied about, anyone so highly before. Welcome to the Railroad, Agent.
Do I have to join to complete Tradecraft? Let's do unsure.
I'm not sure if I want to join.
If you join us, you'll be putting yourself at great risk. We don't want anyone having regrets later. So I need a yes or no.
I guess you're not, like, locked in, right? Like, you can always make the choice later, so.
Glad to be aboard.
It seems we're very lucky to have you. So you're in. Now we need to know what to call you. Secrecy keeps us alive. Code names are a part of that. So what's yours?
Professor, Fixer, more
Have any
options.
suggestions?
No. It doesn't work like that. Your life, your name, your choice.
Bullseye, Whisper, and Charmer.
Let me think.
It's a
let's
big
go back.
decision. Take your time.
It's not a big decision. We'll go with Fixer.
Call me Fixer.
Fixer certainly seems an apt name. Your first official order is to deliver Dr. Carrington his prototype and see if he can use another pair of hands. But first, it's time to meet the rest of the gang. The location of our HQ is one of our most tightly guarded secrets.
What's
so
up?
Be careful coming in or out.
Deacon's not able to be my companion. Awesome.
When you're being watched.
Let's see here. So I guess I can turn Deacon into a settler. Let's do that.
Welcome to the family. We're a colorful and arguably insane bunch.
Oh, didn't quite level up.
But
Bummer.
You're stuck with us now. Speaking of which, if you don't mind a sidekick, let's keep a good thing going and travel together some more.
Sure.
Let's go then.
I'm all ready to go.
All right, we'll send Dog to Sunshine, and then we'll immediately find Dog Meat, hopefully. And we'll send Deacon instead. Where are you at, Dog Meat? Did you get lost in the tunnels? Dog Meat. I've probably checked that toolbox like 6 times looking for loot. Where is Dog Meat at? I guess I lost him already. Yeah. Yep, thank you. Yeah, he must have not made it down here somehow. Okay. Well then, we're gonna send you off. Let's see. Come here.
Hey.
Talk.
Sure, I can in the flesh.
Dismiss.
Probably about time we parted ways.
Another time then.
Okay, off to join the Sunshine Collective because we have got so many people there. All right, let's head over to. We'll go back over there and grab Dog Meat because I gotta have my pooch with me. And we're gonna head over to Ron and see if he's got any more guys for us. Veeks, do you remember the moment you got the idea to create some settlements? Yes, it was the. So I played all the way through Fallout 4 on Xbox. Then I took a break from the game waiting for the DLC to come out. And then it was either like, I don't remember what the timeline exactly, but I got it on PC sometime in there after this, like right after the CK came out, which I think happened between Far Harbor and Nuka World. And then I made salvage beacons because I was tired of having to leave loot behind, but I also wanted like an immersive solution. And then when I started designing settlements, like I was like meticulously placing them down, I was using OC Decorator and going real crazy with it. And I just realized that, oh, there's Dog Meat. Cool. It was going to take me forever to build up all the settlements again. Like I had already done it on Xbox, and like the idea of doing it again on PC just made my mind melt. So then I was like, well, I'll just come up with a solution. And then, yeah, and then I started thinking about it from. I always loved sim games, loved SimCity, excuse me, and decided to marry the two. Let's see. What are we doing here? Map. Okay, we got Dog Meat. Where was this? That's the ASAM sensors. Yeah, we're really close to the Harbor Master to grab the brewing machine, but that quest is really irritating because you got to do the just how slow that damn bot walks. I don't want to do that right now. So let's just go ahead to the Ron, see if we get another quest to pop. What's our cap situation? I've been doing a good job remembering to sell my loot. Yeah, 4K caps.
Nice night, huh?
We'll see if this dude's got some more caps for us.
Oh, I do hope you're here to make a purchase. It's what I live for.
I am.
Let's see what you have.
Oh, goody.
I guess I'm not really here to make a purchase. I'm here to sell you all a bunch of my junk. You can have all those and all those. Man, I got collected a ton of ammo. I don't know if he's going to even have enough for me, even if I take all of his useful stuff. Let's see. Ammo. Do you have any 50 cal? Yes, please. I don't need any more fusion cells, but I guess I'll take them. And shotgun shells. All right, there we go. At least we... All right, what did I grab by accident? I felt like I grabbed, yeah, an Institute pistol. You can have this piece of garbage. And did I get anything else that I don't want? I really don't want to give you any caps. I want all of them for the Ron. So I may have to take back some of those, or sell you back some of those bullets. Like, what do I need least? Probably... No, that's not what I want. This side is what I want. Ammo. I guess I have a ton of fusion cells. I'm not using that many shotgun shells. Yeah, look at that. I have 764 fusion cells. Okay, yeah, I don't need more. You can have... Oh, I don't need to give that many back. Let's go... Total cost 5. I accept. You can have that. All right, there we go. So now I have a... I guess that was silly because now I have 3995 instead of 4K. Whatever. We'll find 5 caps between now and when we purchase 8 settlers from the Ron. I guess not purchasing settlers. It's not like it's the Ron, the slaver. We're not buying the settlers from him. Okay, here we go.
Hey!
Hey!
A little knowledge can be a profitable thing.
Any idea where I can find someone?
Looking for talent, are we? What kind of attributes you in the market for?
I'm looking for someone.
Okay, well, we've definitely got some new things, new stats showing up, because I think we were down to just 2 of them, and I know strength, there's something funky going on with it, but we'll try it again now. Anyway, we'll go through the iterations.
Strong.
Sorry?
Yeah, that one still keeps showing up for some reason. I gotta figure that out. Still on my list, but HQ bugs have been higher priority lately for the next patch.
Any idea where I can find someone?
Looking for talent, are we?
I'm looking for someone.
All right, endurance. What do we think?
Here
we go.
This lead should get you what you're looking for.
Who do we got?
Come back again. Oh yeah.
Let's see. Oh, somebody already hanging out at Sanctuary. Let's see if we can... again. Every time. Wouldn't be the Ron visit without trying to fast travel out of his building. Quester, sell the jet. You can have my jet when you pry it from my cold, overdosed fingers. Alright, let's head over to Sanctuary. I actually haven't been using that much jet. But man, has it gotten me out of some pinches. I remember the one I remember the most jet in this playthrough was taking on the guy with the fat man in Outpost Ammonia. There's no way I would have been able to beat that encounter at that point because my equipment was so weak. And I feel like I've gotten a better, either I've gotten a better shot as we've been playing this playthrough, or maybe I'm just not as rusty anymore, or maybe it's just my stats. I've just gotten good enough to where it's not as important anymore. Oh, hello.
I ran into a group of raiders on my way here. Took a pretty bad hit, and I'm having a little trouble. But first, I want to be upfront and honest. My name is Darcenia, and I'm a synth.
Wait, what was that about synths?
Me. I'm a synth. I tell people when I meet them so they don't think I'm hiding something. However, some immediately try to kill me. The Institute made me to replace the original Darcenia in Diamond City, but I have a glitch in my program because I don't want to. I don't see any reason to kill someone I've never even met just so I can take her place. She never did anything to me. And even if she did, violence is not the answer. Sometimes I don't have a choice, but I won't kill needlessly. Just because the Institute made me does not mean I'm their slave. I will live my life, my way. Which is what brings me here. I've heard about all you've been doing, and I was hoping you could help me out too.
What do you need help with?
I need you to find a courser and get a few parts off them. I'm hurt pretty bad, or I'd do it myself. Here's a list of what I'll need, and if you let me see that Pip-Boy there, I'll mark a spot on your map. I know a place where coursers like to hang around sometimes. Once I have the spare parts, I'll use them to fix the damage I took fighting raiders. Until then, I'll stay here, where it's safe.
No, I'm not a better shot. Yeah, I didn't think so either. So it's 100% the leveling. That's what has made it so that I'm not dying so much. Oh, right south of the museum. All right, we'll go to Drumlin. Bird Up. Has anyone from Bethesda ever talked to you in regards to your mod work? Yeah, I've had some conversations with some people at Bethesda that have been pretty cool. The one this is starting to feel like this story is starting to feel like the guy who was like the star quarterback in high school telling the same story over and over again. But my favorite one to tell from Bethesda is that they told me at one point they were having a staff meeting and somebody brought up Sim Settlements and it derailed the staff meetings because everybody was talking about it for the whole time and they didn't get through what they were supposed to be talking about, which I thought that was pretty flattering. Whoa, who's using a Pip-Boy or a Stealth Boy? Enough. Oops, sorry, doggo. Man, dude took some bullets. Hey, there's that level. You're good, dog, right?
Hey.
Oops. Alright. Alright, let's get our courser parts. And no, I don't really need this. Oh, I did do command. Okay. I do not need a courser uniform. Thank you. But I do want to level up. Alright, do we have anything that I want to upgrade? What does this do? 5% increase to hit and damage dealt to bats targets. Yeah, I haven't been using bats at all. Lone Wanderer, not to level 40. 38 for that one. I could do Bloody Mess just for the plus 10% damage. Otherwise I think I might just start pumping points into endurance because I am tired of running out of action points all the time. Affects your total action point or action point drain from sprinting, right? Yeah. Yeah, Bloody Mess would be a good one, but I feel like I'm doing decent damage already, so let's get some endurance points going. All right. Let's see. Let's head back to Sanctuary. Add another settler to our massive collection. I think we're up to like 27. Well, this will be 27 people, 26 people in Sunshine now. We're gonna have to build up some serious living quarters in HQ after this. But yeah, Tradecraft must have locked a lot of characters. I didn't realize how many railroad related characters we had. Because he had because Ron had like 5 stats showing, and prior to that he only had 2. And I know we figured out strength was bugged, and maybe endurance was 2. There were 2 of them showing last time I talked to him.
Hey there.
Welcome back. Had any luck with those courser parts yet? I honestly don't know how much longer I can last.
That courser won't be bothering anyone again.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure how much longer I could have lasted. With these spare parts, though, Wait. These are top of the line. The best the Institute makes. With these, I'll not only be better, I'll be better. Stronger. I can't believe you took such a risk for me.
I want to help people.
Well, I'll do whatever I can to repay you. I can do just about any job, but I prefer to work with crops, as far from technology as possible. The way I see it, people will be suspicious enough of me for being a synth. A synth working with technology will just make it worse. So I try to stay away from all kinds of tech. I prefer a garden and growing crops. Or maybe I could run a small store selling supplies. Whatever you need done, I'll do my best. Just show me where you need me to set up, and I'll get started.
Alright, well, we know where you're going. Join the party. Okay, quest written by Laughing Otter. Darcenia voiced by Steph Clendenin. Steph has done a ton of voice acting for us. She's done so many characters and did like a lot of some of our. Didn't do the PA for HQ. That was Cynical did that, but some of our other PAs, like the ones in some of the vault encounters and whatnot, and the ship. But yeah, Steph was actually the first voice actor that I didn't work with necessarily. Like I didn't speak to her directly. She worked through Dell, who does our sound design, and Steph did the voice for, what was the character name? It was the one in the hydration research plant for the big Industrial Revolution upgrade or update. All right, so we definitely are gonna need to build some more. All right, I'm gonna go. So I'm about to hit the brakes here on playing and bring Yogi on to chat. But first I want to get us all queued up for next week. So I'm gonna get another Ron quest going, and then I want to pop over in Sunshine and pop down a couple of houses. Or maybe I'll go find some plots that are single person and switch them over to multi-person. All right, let's see what the Ron's got for us here. Yeah, I intentionally didn't level up lockpicking or hacking because I just don't want to do those mini games on camera. Like, there's enough downtime in it already without you guys watching me do that. And I don't find them particularly exciting anymore to do those mini games. Like I dig the mods that let me just like shoot the locks off. Those are pretty cool.
Hello to you.
Hi.
Welcome to the Ron
Very good greeting,
Information
Ron.
Emporium. How can the Ron help you today?
Any idea where I can find someone?
Looking for talent, are we? What kind of attributes you in the market for?
I'm looking for someone.
Let's try another endurance. What does he got?
Tough. Sorry, but the
Okay,
talent.
so now we got 2 that are stuck. That's
Hey.
not. This is on my
You'll
list
find
of
comprehensive
bugs to investigate
depository
another
of
day
information
already.
in the Commonwealth.
Any idea where I can find someone?
Looking for talent, are we?
I'm looking for
Let's try charisma.
charm.
I know just
There
the
we
lead.
go.
Here, all the information you need. Come back again. Oh yeah.
What do we got here? This person is hanging out in Outpost Ammonia. All right. One of the things I could do, because a lot of the Ron did it again. So here's the thing about the Ron's mechanic. You guys might not know is that while he can trigger an NPC to appear, like just talking to him and paying him the fine can. Sometimes all he's doing is just tracking down someone who's already in the world that you just haven't found yet. So you can actually avoid that fee by just wandering to all your different settlements, because most of the new settlers that appear will actually just go visit some of your settlements, and they'll particularly target the ones that have the stuff that they're after. So what's his name, Joe Gallagher, if you've got a settlement with a lot of farms, you're more likely to find him there. Or trying to think of some of the other ones, but basically, like, if they have kind of a primary focus, like where you can tell they're a certain type of person, like they're clearly a merchant, or they're clearly a farmer, or clearly a guard, they'll end up in a settlement with more of that plot type naturally. So you can kind of go on a tour and find them. They basically are injected through the visitor system. So the same system that has those like visiting guard and visiting hunter and all that. That is the same system that the unique NPCs are actually injected through. So you can actually find them that way. Let's see. All right, let's pop in and build a couple of things here. Let's check our meters. Oh, our power's in bad shape. We should actually start building some power plants. Actually, I should build an advanced power plant. Oh, it says everybody's good though. So maybe there was some unbuilt stuff. Well, I'm gonna get a power plant prepped anyway, because we do need to start getting power ready to go for HQ, because that is one of the objectives that takes a while. Where do we want to stick this? This feels like a theater. I don't really want to block it, but no, we can't scrap that tree. Of course not. All right, we'll tuck it back here in the corner. We'll let it go a little bit out of bounds. That's okay. Oh, it's getting. Oh, I see what's happening. Because there's a part of the build zone got nuked from when I was using an old patch. All right, let's try right there. Did I get it in a good spot? Can't tell. All right, where's the... Oh, did I... I bet it spawned the ASIM sensor inside of this building. Yep. We'll just pretend we didn't see that. All right, do we have advanced power? Yes, we do. All right. All right, now we'll nudge that back. Let's see if I can highlight it. All right. Come on. Yep, pay and build. And our junk is doing great. All right, scooch, 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 scooch. There we go. Okay, uncertain how bad that sunk into the ground, but we won't see it again. It's hidden back in the corner. All right, and then let's see. We will do another home. Oh yeah, there we go. The meters are finally catching up here. Yeah, I guess we'll build it on this. We'll build it on top of the rocks here. We got the nice walkway. Let's get it somewhere where there's a chance of the nav mesh connecting to the stairs correctly. And how about here? I'll build them some stairs. Nope, not dynamic flags, not foundations. There we go. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Let's make sure this is multi-person. There's some angry people in this settlement. Okay. Yep, keep that option. Let's see if we dodge some floating. Yeah, I'll let it slide. I'll pretend I don't see it. Okay, we're looking pretty good here. Pay and build. Let's see, and up there goes the icons disappearing. So the scripts must have finally caught up. All right, we're feeling pretty good here. All right, let's go into our normal end of session mode. So save LP day 26, end of session. All right, and then we need to go. All right, the date time looks good. So set time scale to 0.1, and we hide ourselves in the corner so we don't have people talking to me. And TFC. And watch our little city grow. Very slowly at time scale 0.1. Okay, there we go. All right, let me give Yogi a shout now. So this is the time where we're gonna just chat. So if you guys have questions for myself or Yogi, and just make sure you ping me with @KingGath in your question. I'm gonna mark where we're at in chat right now, so that way I remember to come back. So it might take me 20 minutes to get to your questions, but or if not longer, but I'll get to them before the night is night is through. We'll probably go for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on how things are going. Let's see if I can find them on Discord here. Ring, ring. Hello, sir. How are you today? We've got no volume. All right, let me check, make sure my Discord settings aren't the problem. Test, test, test. Okay, well, my mic's working on Discord.
Is mine working?
Now, there you are. All right.
Right, there we go.
All right, cool. Okay, let's have you do a little intro, and people can tell us how your volume is.
All right. I hate talking about myself.
Talk about the mods you've released. Maybe that'll you've got a couple out there, right?
Yeah, I've just a couple of little dirty hack things, really. I made a shipment for the supplies for to build a caravan plot, and I did a municipal power pole with a much larger radiant power radius.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. All right. How is his volume? Like, I know. So there's a ton of background noise that I'm hearing. I don't know if everybody else is hearing that. It's like a high pitch, like staticky, hissy type of noise. Are you guys hearing that? Okay, it's quiet. All right. Let me try cranking up your volume a little bit. If there's anything you can do about weird noise on your end, I don't know what that is. Try cranking your output up a bit.
All right, how's that then?
All right, you definitely sound louder to me. All right, Valen says I think he's good now. Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes, and I'll keep an eye on chat. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Glad to be here.
So you have been in the community for quite a while since you got into the forums pretty early on. Did you join? Are you an SS1 convert, or were you new to SS2?
I had played quite a lot of Conqueror.
Okay.
And I'd lurked the forums before that, but my first forum account was created the day Sim Settlements 2 launched.
Because you were probably the most helpful pure person in the community I'd ever seen. Like there was a point, and I remember you joked about this, that people thought you were me because your post count was almost as high as mine, which was nuts. Like you were on the ball with helping people out, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, there was no one's made that mistake in a while, but yeah, there was quite a few people that genuinely thought I was you.
Well, you know a lot about the mod, and it's been like there's no way in hell I could keep up with. Well, I mean, you've seen it. Like to keep up with the amount of questions just requires like a crazy amount of time. There's just nonstop new people showing up and lots of questions. So, I think like you were one of the people that inspired me to start the Community Rockstar program because I was just like so blown away by how much you knew about the mod, and it was really like it's not feasible for me to keep developing the mod at the pace that we're doing without having the community handle the support. Because like as you've seen, there's just tons and tons of questions and lots of new folks that come in, and of course there's the occasional person who's just not interested in reading the manual. But even beyond that, the mod has become so complicated that you kind of need to have that community support aspect.
Yeah, the forums have got quite busy. It seems since Sim Settlements 2 came out, there's a massive amount of people on the forums these days.
Yeah, it's pretty. I get a Google report every month with my the hits, and like it outpaces some of the websites of corporate clients I have, where it's like, Jesus, I did not anticipate that, because most people kind of shout from the rooftops that forums are dead. And I was like, ours is alive and healthy. Like, I don't know. I personally hate the move of a lot of companies, like when Bethesda got rid of their forums and switched to Discord chat. I'm like, no, it's not the same thing. You need that chat you need that history so people can search up and find solutions. Because even though a lot of people are impatient and don't want to wait, those of us who are patient, now we don't have to bug you. Like, we don't have to bug the live chat. So I am very pro forum.
Yeah. My biggest issue with the forums is actually the search functionality.
Yeah.
Because it has the words are too short or too common.
Right.
Searching for the quest How to HQ returns no result.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's did not think about the name of the quest with that. I remember I may have to look into an upgrade to our search on the forums. It's crazy how much we've had to spend a lot of money on the forums just to keep them up and running, to make sure we have appropriate, we have to pay for a special spam bot and or an anti-spam bot. We're not paying for a spam bot, an anti-spam thing, and I could see having to pay for an upgraded search just to make it usable, because it's getting such a deep collection. But I didn't want to bury you in forum talk, but I just wanted to say thank you for how much time you've spent supporting the mod, because you have done the work that when I first launched SS1, that was one of the things that buried me, was just trying to answer everybody's questions. So thank you for putting in that effort.
I don't even want to know how your DM inbox looks.
So it's funny, whenever I about once a month I go to all the different websites. Like, I go to the Sim Settlements email, and I go to the Facebook, and then I just have to type up a message in Notepad that's like, apologies for the long delay, and then I have to start every message with just copy pasting that, because it'll be literally if I look at it every day, it gets too overwhelming. So I have to usually on patch days, I'll just after I post the patch, I'll commit the rest of the day to all right, I'll catch up my messages. And then so sometimes it'll be there'll be month-old messages sorry. I actually set up on Facebook an autoresponder now that says, hey, I manage this by myself. If you want a quick turnaround, head to the forums. Otherwise, it could be a couple weeks before you hear back from me, because it is nonstop. So one of the things, I'm sure, I think when we were DMing, you said you had some questions in mind, but One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, and why I wanted to have you on, is because we tend to get very polarized criticism. We either get extreme praise or extreme negative, I hope you die of cancer criticism, but rarely get the balanced type. There are a handful of people who are willing to type up, the nicely worded criticisms, and you are one of those that you are a fan of the mod, but you also, recognize it as shortcomings. And so I really wanted to talk to you because I know you have a lot of opinions on the mod in various ways, but anything you dislike about it, you say it in a way because you want to see it improve, not that you just want to call me an a-hole, like some folks on the internet. So I'm interested in having a good constructive conversation about SS2 with you.
Yeah, as we discussed in those private messages the other day, I've certainly been quite vocal about my thoughts. Especially if you look back at my old account, you'll see some very interesting, scintillating discussion there.
Yeah, I remember there was the moment where you went from rabid supporter to skeptical was after when Chapter 2 launched, because we had a lot of unfinished content like HQ, and there were a lot of bugs in the main quest. Although I will say to the team, I think they got the bugs fixed in the main quest much quicker with Chapter 2 than Chapter 1. I don't know if you agree with that.
Now, I would have actually looked at it the other way around, that Chapter 2 brought me back around on being more positive.
Oh, really? Okay. I remember I know you were one of my biggest critics of people who's you're one of those people, people like you who post this much on the forums and are that helpful. I take your word with a much larger weight than I will with random nobody, right? And I remember one of the things that I read from you that I was that seemed to be something you were critical of, and to good point was HQ, because HQ was one of those big promises on paper that failed to deliver fantastically. It was buggy, it didn't have all the features, and that one's one where I'm oh man, that's he's giving it to me straight, telling me what's up.
Yeah, the thing with HQ is that I could see what the intent was with that, and the new 2.0 beta that I've had a bit of a look at has definitely helped a lot there. I can see so many features in that even I haven't had a chance to dig into yet. It look like there's a lot of promise there.
Yeah, it's still got a ways to go. To get it, I think HQ in the long term is gonna need community support to live up to the potential, in the same way that I think the city plan and plot gameplay does. We've got a fair number, but on my just looking at the settlements that I've built during this Let's Play, they all have the same kind of look to them because I don't have any add-on packs installed, and I've seen the builds that people do for the city plan contest and they just look fantastic because they have so much variety and so many crazy creative designs. So I'm looking forward to having that for HQ as well, so that we can kind of realize the potential of it from a visual standpoint. Obviously the gameplay is kind of on my shoulders or on our team's shoulders, but visually I think that's important too. Having a place that looks cool and reflects kind of what you want to do, that's a pretty important part of the building. It's Sim Settlements, right? Everybody came on board for the building.
Yeah, that's a good point. It will be interesting to see how many add-on pack authors get stuck into doing HQ rooms, because I can imagine there's a lot of potential there for doing, say, an Institute theme or a Children of Atom theme, if you're listening to Nubia.
yeah, I know. I remember when we were crafting out the HQ system on paper, I pulled in Tenuvia and Merm in a meeting and just went over all of the goals of it and talked about it, trying to convince them to do a Children of Atom pack. I don't know if they will or not. I know that they've slowed down their dev. I think that they're slowly inching toward a new hobby. But man, yeah, Children of Atom one would be sweet. There's so much good stuff to pull from, all the art assets that they added in Far Harbor.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot there. I know one of the most common requests on the forums has been more Institute content, but there's just not enough assets to work with for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think I see that request. Like, I think you could release, because Whisper actually has Whisper restored his mods. I know for a while he had pulled them off, and he had he had recently. I think he was the one, or was it Prof? Somebody did a Institute build pack not too long ago. Do you know what I'm talking about? Am I crazy, or I'm pretty sure somebody released one like a few months back.
It sounds familiar, but I can't say for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. Somebody in chat will remember. But anyway, but there hasn't been anything like that, which is shocking. Yeah, that to me would have been one of those, like, you know, first couple of months of modding of like give people some Institute build kits, because I think a lot of people dug the faction, and because like the aesthetic is so different that it looks pretty cool when you build with it.
Yeah, the more clean style is something that, especially when you look at, say, we're looking at Sunshine Tidings here right now. It's the vanilla style is very scrappy and barely held together, and I don't know how people can even sleep in some of those houses.
Oh, just the way I like it. I love the scrappy aesthetic of it, but yeah, it's like it's so like dreary and dull. I know part of that is because there's like a fog rolling into the game, but yeah, everything's very drab.
Especially with Boston being right there on the coast, it wouldn't be very comfortable some nights, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. I think it'd be pretty rough. Pretty rough for the winters too. Like it gets pretty cold in Boston. All right, so I know you came stock with some questions to ask me. So why don't we start there?
All right. Now I am actually at a different computer, so I don't have those questions with me.
No worries. If you got nothing to mind and you want me to fill some time while you jot something down, I can move over to chat, because I'm sure I've fallen way behind on that.
Oh, I did just think of one.
Okay.
With the HQ system,
yeah,
each department has a department head. Say Aiden's head of security.
Sure.
Does that mechanically matter?
So right now, it mechanically matters in that unless your department has a head, you get no department energy. The department basically is not doing anything. I believe in the 2.0 patch, I changed it so that if you unassign the department head, somebody automatically fills the role the next time you assign people. So if you juggle your staff around, somebody will fill in that role, so that doesn't, because it's not intuitive that would be the case, right? That you would need a department head. The plan on paper for the long term is to have the leader system work with department heads, so that, but I have to first invent like a whole bunch of traits, and it was one of those things where it was like, okay, well, I could do it right now, but it makes more sense to wait until I have all the HQ code done for both 2.0 and Chapter 3, and then I can have like a way cooler pool of traits, and I don't have to go back and fix things later. So like one of the time, like with the leader traits that we added to SS1 to Rise of the Commonwealth, we ended up patching those in, because even though I had the idea early on, it was like, if I add this in from the get-go, there's probably going to be a lot of bugs in the code I'm going to have to fix, and then those are going to become part of the leader system. So I waited several months to do it. So that's kind of the attitude I'm taking with that. But ultimately, yeah, department heads will have a benefit of having traits. And I'm hoping that they'll be stuff, they'll be like similar to like the way the minor traits and weaknesses are in settlements, where it'll be small buffs and negatives to things. And as you've seen with the 2.0 patch, there's a lot more mechanics now, right? Because there's the different disasters, and like you can change the rate at which they happen. You have improvements to the cleanup speed of the disasters, like, so there's new mechanics to pull from. And then in addition, I would like to see the major traits do stuff similar to the admin policies, which I don't know if you've played around with. Well, yeah, I think you commented on some of those. So to where they have like a pretty massive impact, like a big boost to some department in some way, so that the department head could matter quite a bit, so that it would be a pretty significant choice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that it seemed like a system that was only the bare bones were put in, and I can definitely imagine something like settlement leader traits.
Yeah, I think that'll be a lot of
Bolting.
fun. I think that'll be a lot of fun to play around with, and it'll be a great space for more add-on packs. Like I love the 2 big giant leader packs that are out there. Like those guys got really creative with it, like which is really fun to see. Looking at the character, like we like doing it too. Like we have on paper plans for leader cards for all of our like side settlers, and we just haven't had the time to put them together. Because it's fun to take the characters' like personalities and their backgrounds and try and dream up, like how would they, what impacts would they have mechanically?
Yeah, that was the only question that sprung to mind. That's one that's been bugging for a while.
So let's go in that direction then. So Sim Settlements 2 very well. You're one of those people that I can almost guarantee you'll beat me to most. Like even when I'm trolling the forums, like actively looking for things, half the time I get to it, you beat me to the response, or vice versa. I remember during early days of SS2, I think there were a couple of times where you and I both posted at the same time in response to some questions. So are there anything in SS2 still that to this day, despite your knowledge, you're still not 100% certain how it works? Is there anything else? Obviously HQ's close to mind because you've been poking at it with a big stick with the 2.0 beta. What about the rest of SS2? Is there any settlement mechanics or RON mechanics or any of that stuff that's like you're not quite sure what's going on there?
Let me just run through the list of every plot in my head. Power transfer.
Power transfer, okay.
I've noticed that if I build a power transfer plot in more than one settlement,
yes,
it takes all of the power from one settlement and puts it to the other one.
That sounds like a bug. That definitely sounds like a bug. So the way the power transfer is supposed to work is a lot like the caravan food and water does. So in the vanilla game, you got the provisioners and they let you share your junk. So the provisioners also in the vanilla code, they will, I guess I got to go over some, so this might be interesting to everybody about how the workshop code works. So the workshop code has this thing called daily update. And what it does is it tries to like rectify all your numbers and figure out, like how much food and water you have. And it's what's in charge of updating the happiness calculation for the day. Which is why like the happiness slowly trickles upwards because it's done during this daily update. And one of the things it does is it looks for food and water. So like let's say Sunshine here, we have I think 25 people. It'll look, does Sunshine have 25 food production and 25 water production? If yes, great, then we'll just produce no food and water today. And that's great. And then that's a net zero. And then if instead it's short, what it'll do is it'll say, okay, well, let's say we're producing 20 food here. And say, okay, great, we'll produce 20 less food today because assume the settlers ate it. Now let's go try and take 5 food out of the workbench. If it fails at that, then it looks to the provision network. It grabs all the settlements and and checks all of their workbenches for food laying around. But if there's no actual food produced in there, like sitting raiding the workbench, then it flags that as there not being enough food, and then the settlement gets a happiness penalty. Even if the other settlements were producing enough extra food, if it didn't happen to be in the workbench. So it's a really it's a complex problem. Like the coding problem from that is very complicated of how, what order you do all that in. So with Workshop Framework, I tried to fix that, and instead it does, it tries to transfer some of the food value and the water value to the settlements that need it. So if you ever come into your settlements and you see the food and water start bouncing around a little bit, that's Sim Settlements and Workshop Framework trying to juggle all the food and water in the network to even it out so that everybody has what they need. And Power Transfer has it do that to the power. That's what it's supposed to do. But if you're saying it's just nuking it over to one settlement, that is a bug. Instead, what it should be doing is let's say Sanctuary here or Sunshine here has a Power Transfer plot. And Sanctuary also has one, and Sanctuary is short 30 power, then Sunshine should give it 30 power. That's how it's supposed to work. And then it should keep the rest of its surplus for itself. But it sounds like you're saying it's just is it permanently just gets transferred over to one or the other? Is that what you're seeing?
In the few tests of it I did, it was literally taking all of the power that... Let me rephrase that. All of the power that was being produced by municipal power plots,
yeah,
was being sent from one settlement to another.
Yeah, that's
All of
definitely a bug. All right, I'll have to put that on my list to resolve. And that's an important one because it's a, you know, part of the HQ design is it's supposed to give you an output for, or an outlet for all of the surplus resources and power you're creating. So power transfer needs to work well. So I will put that back on my list to go over. But that's I think that's like is so from your perspective as just somebody who just enjoys playing the mod, is how would you handle power transfer? Do you think that that's a good way to go of like, let's just give the places that have power transfer the minimum they need and then keep the rest in the main settlement? Or do you think it makes more sense to balance it out evenly across the settlements that have a power transfer?
I would do it to only transfer the amount needed, other than load balance.
Sure. Because that's one of those interesting things that comes up a lot of times when we're designing new systems of like some like a lot of people on the team are like me, have very little time to game anymore because they spend so much time just developing the mod. So a lot of times like when we're designing new systems, you know, we think about it like, oh, this would be cool. But because we don't all have a ton of time spent, and like most of you guys playing the mod probably have way more hours playing the mod than we do on the team because we just spend more of our time in the creation kit. So sometimes like questions like that of like what would feel the best as the player, you know, are not necessarily like, we don't always make the best decision up front, which is why sometimes we do like overhaul patches to the city plan code and stuff where it was like those decisions sounded fine on paper, but like when you're in the trenches and playing, you know, some of those decisions end up not working out well. So it sounds like power transfer, though, just needs to be fixed rather than changed at all.
Now, to be fair, I haven't seen anyone else mention it doing that.
Okay,
so
that's true.
I'm sure if that's just a problem on my end.
Could be a Yogi problem. I would assume it's
quite a lot.
I've gotten to the point, like, so we've got such a big user base, which is freaking cool, that it tends to be that any problem anyone shows to me, like, even if it doesn't people don't report it out a lot. Like, so for example, somebody the other day had a problem where they walk into GNN and they fall through the floor. And they had posted a link on a YouTube comment, and I was like, well, you're the first person to ever have that. And I click on their forum post, and no, 3 other people had responded that they had it too. And I was like, so it's pretty much like guaranteed if one person has a problem, there are a bunch of other people who have the problem. And then there are probably 10 times that many people who don't bother to post about it. So like, I feel like anytime anybody has a problem, it's something I got to deal with. And then like, even if dealing with it is just, let's find the mod conflict. I feel like there's always way more people because there's so few people. Like, think about how many people are on the forums. Like we said, it's pretty busy, but then you look at the unique download counts and it's like, okay, there are way more people who are just silently suffering with these bugs. So yeah, I try, like, anytime anybody, especially somebody like you who I know, you know, you do your due diligence. Like you know, when you post a report, I can be confident that you've tried to work it out already. So I would guess this is not just a you problem. This is probably a problem a lot of people are facing. So,
yeah, it's hard to tell for these sort of things because, especially until you get the free unlock of it in HQ, I don't think many people even knew power transfer existed.
Yeah, and then a lot of like one of the talking things we had or talking points we had in meetings with the city plan contest folks is they find it's hard to when they're trying to balance out a network, it's hard to justify the power transfer because you effectively have to sacrifice 2 settlers to it, right? You got one on each end. So it's a tough plot to swallow from that regard. In fact, it's to the point where I've actually considered converting it into an item instead of an assignable plot type, like just making it like kind of like a recruitment beacon, right? You build this thing. It's something that's potentially on the table. But I think we use that information of like, like when we did the rebalance patch, was that last summer? I think we did. Yeah, I think it was last summer before Chapter 2 came out. The fact, you know, like that piece of feedback of like, hey, you know, you have to sacrifice a lot of work potential for these power transfers, that we use that information to jack up the power production on the power plots, because it was like we have to keep that in mind of like every settler has this potential to be like, well, they could be producing, X food or could be producing X defense. So then like when we give them this utility function, the utility's got to be pretty high value. Like caravan, I think nobody feels bad about building a caravan services because it's so much value. Like there's so much, you get so much out of it. Whereas power transfer is a little less exciting. It doesn't have all those auxiliary functions.
Yeah, it's very much a utility thing. On that note,
yeah,
the quest for HQ to build the power transfer and all that.
Yeah.
Does the array really consume that much power?
So the array, I don't remember how we've got that set up. It's something like it consumes a bunch of power in the settlement. And you should notice in HQ now in 2.0, I fixed the HUD. The maintenance, the amount of the bar that just stays full should be higher after that point. But I'm trying to remember how we set up array because I know there's a point like after you do. We talked about when we did the quest Sea to Glowing Sea, where Jake is talking about how it'll reduce the power requirement. Well, we never built in mechanism for that, so like there was no in our code, there was no way to handle that, and I still haven't figured out a way to do it. So instead, the upgrading that ends up just increasing the max power engineering because it's effectively the same. Increasing the max or reducing the consumption kind of works out the same, other than the fact that you need more power transfer, but we didn't have any way to reduce it like in the code system. So that's one of those things where we'll probably go back and change that when I figure out an elegant way to do it. So that it does match the dialogue. But there's a couple of points in SS2 where Jake or somebody else will say something about a mechanic, and it's like, oh, it doesn't quite work like that, just because we ran into technical issues with it, and that's one of them. The power consumption of the array is one of those fudged ones because it was written in a way where I think probably during the conversations with Sir Rick and other writers, I was just like, oh yeah, we'll figure that out. Like just kicking the can down the road to future Gath, and then I got punished for it later.
My thought was more that because the quest makes you set up a whole 1,000 power.
Yeah.
That's more power than all of my settlements combined are using.
Yeah, and I think so. I think the array uses 450 or 500. So the point of that quest and a lot of the HQ stuff that it has you do, the point is to teach the mechanics more than like any actual purpose to it. It was kind of like, all right, we need them to have some sort of mission that has a payoff at the end, because it has a nice little scene if you go through it all, that will teach the mechanics slowly, because HQ is very overwhelming. Like it's just going through that, the first half of How To HQ, you just get wham, bam, bam with pop-ups and all this information that you got to digest. So then I was like, all right, how can we reveal the, the fact that you have to increase the max size of all the different meters, you need to build these rooms. And so it was like, all right, well, if we introduce it with one of the room types, people will figure out like, oh, it's all the same. It's like, so there's max power, there's max water, there's max food. So we chose power because it matched with it makes sense with the array, right? Like that thing would be sucking down a lot of juice with how, what it's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be sending out nonstop radio signals all over the Commonwealth. So I think we just chose that for that reason. And we wanted it to be a ton of power so that it would use up all the power of HQ. It would show players the fact that you could upgrade that room, so that they would see like, oh, okay, that increases more. So it was introducing the upgrade concept. So it was more about the array needing to use that much power was really just an arbitrary thing to show off this mechanic. And then also as a side benefit, it made the high-tech power plants much more valuable all of a sudden, because it was like, okay, well, now people have a reason to just go nutso with power, which is something you don't usually need to do in your settlements, right? Usually you just plop down a few of the Voltec or the fusion generators and you're done. And now it was like, oh wait, this needs way more than that. So yeah, it was kind of like it was just a tutorialization, and it became, and a lot of that HQ quest line and that part in particular is to slow the pace down and make sure people, because one of the things that I've noticed throughout SS2's life when we added the story, is people kind of just do our stuff now. Like most people don't, like they kind of beeline through it. So then whenever they get like the biggest complaint I see about HQ on the forums, other than bugginess up to this point, has been they don't have enough resources to pay for everything, right? Because the costs are so high in HQ because it's supposed to be a resource sink, because they just whizzed through our content and didn't build settlements. And like that's one of those. So that was the other purpose of that Commonwealth Rising, was to like make the numbers so high that it forces players to be like, okay, I must have screwed up. I was supposed to build up settlements, without having Jake say that outright, right? Like, because that'd be too meta to be like, oh, it's a shame you didn't build more settlements. So that was kind of our reasoning behind that whole part. The power transfer portion was to like force the player to slow down and go jack up their settlements.
Right, there has been quite a few people that have asked how much of the quest line can they do without ever building anything. Oh, I don't know how they're coping with HQ.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people haven't played HQ, and we actually have some solutions to that coming down the pipes. Because I know it's not for, like just in the same way, like a lot of people, like I don't understand this argument, but you've heard about people complaining like, oh, but Todd lied to us and said workshop mode's optional, but you have to do it for the main quest. Which I don't really count what you have to do, right? What do you have to do? You have to build like 3 power generators and then that teleport thing, right? Like that's, I don't know. I've never understood that complaint. But with HQ, it's a pretty significant amount of time you got to spend playing it to get to all the quest stuff. So we have 2 plans regarding that. One is we're going to at some point, I don't know if it'll be in for chapter 3, is have auto building, like have something where you just delegate HQ building to your NPCs, and they will just like, it'll be something similar to a city plan where it'll just be like they just pick and build all of our templated rooms, right? It'll just be like, it'll just slow, every time you come back there'll be a handful more built, and then you won't have to do all that stuff. And then the second thing we have is, this will come with chapter 3, is we're going to have some sort of shortcut to get through it, because for players, like obviously you've played through it a few times, you know even if you want to go through it fast, it takes a while because you got to build up all that infrastructure. So we will have some sort of like shortcut method where we need some amount of time to pass for the story to make sense. So spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't played, is still trying to play through chapter 2. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I can't say it. That's enough. And now you've been warned. Plug your ears for 2 minutes. At the end of Commonwealth Rising, you find out that the gunners are still out there and they're marching an army toward the Commonwealth. So in order for that moment to land and for our chapter 3 stuff, like the resolution of that, to make sense, there does need to be some amount of time passing between when you take over GNN and when that stuff starts. So we will need to have some sort of buffer time before we just, if you like finished, like if we skipped, like you beat the gunners, like you defeat Wes, and then immediately an invasion starts, like that's gonna feel weird, right? That's not gonna feel believable. So we'll need some amount of time, but we're not gonna make players play through all of that process if they don't want to. So there'll be some sort of shortcut mechanism with the 3.0 patch to get through the quests in HQ to get to Commonwealth Rising more quickly, because its purpose as a tutorial is less important for people who've already played it, and it's way too slow for once chapter 3 is out and the story continues. Because just like chapter 2 from chapter 1, if you were to pick up, or if you were to play a new playthrough, there's not going to be the year-long wait, right? It's just going to go. It's just going to pick up right from your left off. And so those are our 2 solutions coming down the road for HQ. There'll be some sort of auto build system eventually, and a shortcut for people who want to get to chapter 3 quicker.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of people who just either, they try HQ for a little bit, they're like, this is too complicated, not really what I signed up for. Like I signed up to get easier settlements, and now this is even more complicated than settlements. So that actually gives me a good question for you, and I think I've asked this on the forums of folks. But of the new HQ mechanics, are there any that we haven't added a toggle yet for that you think we should? Like some things we should just be able to turn off? Because that's one of the things where I know the menu is pretty tiny as far as like what you can turn on and off. Is there more stuff that you think I should turn off to help alleviate some of the forum concern about, you know, like new folks coming on being like, I don't know what to do with HQ?
From what I can see, with HQ 2.0, looks like most of the concerns I had in mind in that regard have been taken care of. Especially with that change to scrap logistics.
Oh, yeah, where you can turn you can turn that off now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is that's a funny one. So the scrap logistics is a funny mechanic of how that works. So there's I've been bugging one of my graphic artist friends to make some things for me, and he hasn't had time. Of like, I want to create like a little 1-page visual diagram of the HQ stuff, because I think it seems really complicated because the explanations are word salad, but like the reality of it is pretty straightforward. It's for all those different things like the scrap logistics, the power engineering, etc. Basically, to increase the amount of them that you have, you just put more people in those departments, and their stat. So like, say for example, you've got engineering. If they've got high perception, then they will increase the power and water engineering by more than somebody with low perception. And then to increase the max of any of those stats, you do HQ upgrades. So the people determine how much you can do, and then the max, or they contribute how much you get, and then the max is determined by the facility. Now, the reason that we actually introduced those was because we were having an issue with when people who have played for a long time, like in testing, who had really old saves and had like hundreds of thousands of resources, they were able to just like build up HQ in 5 minutes. And then I was like, oh well, that was fun, all done. And so we wanted a way to like slow it down a little bit, and it made more logical sense of like, just because you've got, and energy was part of that. Energy slowed things down too. But we also wanted to make sure that the player had to connect all the settlements, because one of the goals of HQ was like, all right, you build up all these settlements, and on top of getting rich as a player from caps, eventually, with all the commercial caps that it deposited, or if you build taxes, you can get crazy rich, of what is the point of all that you build up, right? You need something to invest all that in. And so having the supply agreements to connect them all, that was part of that. It was like, how do we give a mechanic to connect all that? And so then scrap logistics became part of that, but it also became a way to tie together all the different. So we had a technical issue that was introduced with the scrap system, with the fact that we have the 3 different modes, right? We've got the simple, the category, and the complex, or the component rather, and that made the some of our work on HQ like nightmare fuel. Like, it was so hard to work that out. And scrap logistics actually ended up solving one of the problems for us, which is like, how do we limit spending every day when we have 3 different recipes for everything? And scrap logistics was a way to tie that all together so that we could solve that. And then once we introduced scrap logistics, we're like, well, it would be weird if you had that for scrap but not for everything else. So then we added it in for everything else. Then the way it was named in a way that would make it like, it's, what the hell is scrap logistics, or what the hell is power engineering? It was like, you just wanted to make sure that the name was short enough where it could fit on the UI, and it explained, what it was and which department was responsible for it. So that's like why the names are the way they are. Some of the decisions we had to make were just like technical workarounds of, like that the names for those had to be specifically those, that was as short as we could get, because if you go much longer, it gets cut off in the workshop UI.
Yeah.
So
on that note, actually,
this
is a question I'm just going to throw out there to chat. And yes, I am watching. Has anyone out there actually finished HQ on the full 31 components difficulty level?
Ooh, yeah, that would be an interesting question, because the one thing I'll say with there's probably going to be a future rebalance in some form, because we did not spend a ton of time balancing out what resources to use. Instead, what we did is we chose a cost model of 500 units of junk per benefit, right? So if it was like one living space, it would have to cost at least 500. If it was, or maybe it's 250, I can't remember the number. But we picked a number like that, and then it was up to the designers to distribute the cost. So it'd be like, we tried to weigh them. So it was like, put more, if you're going to distribute that 500 across, building materials and organic, it should be heavier in building and lesser in organic. But I know for a fact we never took a time to like lay out a spreadsheet of all of it and say like, all right, where are we not spending any resources? Instead, we tried to just do things logically. It was like, all right, well, lead kind of is bullets, so that will be anything security related is going to have maybe some lead and some ballistic material. Those feel security-ish, or like living quarters are going to have a lot of cloth because you need bedspreads and stuff. But there hasn't been a ton of, so I bet there's probably like 10 of the component resources that are never used in HQ at all currently. So I don't.
It's tried it very briefly myself and gave up because I can never get that balance right.
So I will say we have a very clean solution to that coming in 3.0. So it will. I'll talk about it because I've been pretty open about what's coming in Chapter 3. I'm just keeping the story under wraps. But we have a system called the Marketplace coming, and I've shown it off to Patreon users. But basically, it's the ability to buy and sell bulk resources of any type on an either individual basis, like just a one shot, or you can set up like daily sales. So it's a lot like the Stellaris system for that, where there's market value and it can go up and down, so you can get a better rate on your sales or purchasing. And we have the hooks in place for people who really like this kind of super nerdy spreadsheet gameplay. We're not going to engage with it right away at launch for 3.0 because just there's bigger fish to fry, but we have the hooks in place to where there can be like supply demand fluctuation and whatnot. So we've got a pretty detailed system that's really easy to use to solve that problem of being like, okay, well, I have crazy amounts of nuclear material coming in that I never use. Let's just set that up to sell every day, and then we'll buy, the ones I'm short of, and so you can like balance out your entire network perfectly.
That would alleviate quite a lot of the complaints I see about the full 31 components level.
Yeah, full 31 is pretty intense. And I think it's funny that like I think the only reason that so many people play it is because we have it default for survival players. Otherwise, I bet a lot of people would have like never turned it on intentionally. Like they wouldn't have thought to go in and like, how could I make this more difficult? It's one of those. What's that?
That was the only reason I knew it was there, was because if I was playing for myself, I would be on survival mode. So
yeah.
That makes Sim Settlements default to the highest difficulty for everything.
Right.
So,
I've considered, and multiple times I've considered just stripping that part out and just like leaving everything to the balanced mode by default. But I do want new players who come on to have a chance to like see all that stuff. So if people are in, because there are a lot of players who love, the super difficult gameplay. It's a tough one to decide on. So for people who like the tougher gameplay, like having that out of the box like that is like, oh cool, this system's crazy deep, there's all these maintenance costs I gotta deal with. But then for some new players, it's probably like, this is too much. But I've been banking on the fact that the voice acting we've got is good enough to get people past that hump. And it seems to be the case when I watch a lot of Let's Plays and stuff. Even people who are like, man, there's a lot going on in here, are like usually encouraged enough to just go through the story that they get over their fear of the complexity. I don't know if you've seen the same thing.
And that's why I brought up the people that have asked if they can finish the mod without ever building any settlements at all.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that quite a few times.
Yeah, I think some people they're just here for the story, and so they want to bypass the mechanics. And we've got, and I think as you've seen with HQ 2.0, we now have ways to speed that up, because now once you get HQ going, as far as the settlements, once you get HQ going with HQ 2.0, you can let your settlers do everything. Like you don't even have to leave HQ again if you don't want to, and take over the whole Commonwealth. I don't know if you've gotten to
that. I have noticed a couple of features that would allow for that. That new side quest that I'm not going to spoil because that's the way we're doing things today, apparently.
Yeah.
That allows for a lot of interesting mechanical gameplay there.
Well, and even I don't know if you've seen the missions for the logistics and the engineering team, but they can go out and start building stuff for you without you having to do anything, like even beyond that mechanic. So it's one of those ones where I don't know how many people will do it, but to me it was like such an interesting it was something one of our designers suggested, and it was like, that's a great idea. Like, it's not something necessarily that everybody will do or that necessarily is worth doing, but like it's super flavorful and it feels fun to see.
Yeah. I know not many other people have looked at the HQ 2.0 beta.
Yeah.
This is a spoiler for the mechanics that are in there. Can send logistics teams out to take settlements and put a city plan in place without you having to do it.
And then, we can talk about all the stuff Stage YouTube 2.0. Obviously, it's available, but you can also send the security team to go take over any settlement you know about that you haven't taken. They'll even, and it's really fun. We've even got them so they actually do combat. Like, if you send the security team to take Murkwater and you go down there before they finish, they'll be fighting the queen when you get there. And then engineering can send a team out to force a city plan to upgrade, assuming that you've got enough junk ready to go. So I think that'll be a fun way people can feel like they're influencing the world from their HQ. But we do still have the HQ itself. Still, there's no automation for, and that's going to be a ways off. I anticipate, unless we find out during alpha testing that's like, okay, we need that mechanic for the sake of letting people get to chapter 3 in a reasonable pace. It's going to be one of those like big post-launch updates after chapter 3 is what I'd assume. Because I've talked about, like, my plan after chapter 3 is to get as many of the bugs as feasible to worked out, and then get a lot of quality of life features, so that way when I finally retire from Fallout 4 modding one day, that everything you guys could want is in place. And that's definitely one of those, like, I think for people who are just like, you know what, I'm going to come back to Fallout 4, I haven't played it in a few years, and I want to play all the quest mods, they're not going to want to get buried in the gameplay of a management sim, right? That's too much for if you're just trying to play through a lot of quest mods, so we definitely need a bypass mechanic.
Yeah, that would definitely need to be allowed for. For me personally, it's actually the other way around.
Okay.
I find that the quests get in the way of the settlement gameplay.
I think one of the things with that is the need. This is one of those things. I think you've commented on this when I suggested it one time. Is we have this like overwhelming need to just complete our objectives, but you don't have to. Like, you can just let them sit in your log. But I know most people don't, right? Like, they get that objective to go, meet Jake somewhere, and it's like, well, I got to do that now. And it's like, well, you could just let him wait for a while. And that's one of those, we tried to space it out with the, like, the time, occasionally you have to wait 24 hours or 36 hours or whatever. But, the natural, still, even with that, the natural, like, the gut feeling is, okay, I got to go sleep for a couple of days until he calls me back.
It's, I definitely understand that it's a tricky thing to get the balancing and the timing right on that sort of thing, especially since there's only a handful of places in the storyline.
Yeah,
it makes sense for come back in a couple of days and I'll have finished this for you. Can't do that between every single quest because it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and then once we get to chapter 2, there's like an implied like. There's like kind of a threat, so like you can't really, like, having in pauses there then just feels like it breaks the pacing of the story. So like we really can't do it after that point. But that's where I'm hoping some of these new tools in HQ, and this, it's obviously it slows way down after you take over HQ. So that's another point where things can slow down and let players go back and get their settlements built up. But yeah, it would be. I don't know how we could. I know the only other thing we've talked about as far as the early game and like allowing for that, like, there's a couple of things I would think will change at some point. One will be having a built-in feature to delay Jake's appearance. Like, I know there's a mod already out there to do that, so that's nothing I'm hurrying with. And we've also talked about having like a way to bypass the tutorial-y quests. Like, the first 3 quests are kind of, they're not particularly I don't know, they're not particularly exciting to do if you've played through the quest a lot of times. You know, building plots and waiting for Jake to pretend to hammer. Having some sort of skip for that has been on the table. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know how much we'll touch the old content to give more of that time. But I think, like, you know, pausing Jake kind of lets you then just engage with the settlement gameplay. And I'm fairly certain everything is unlockable without doing the quests, other than the plot types. So, like, all of the classes have, like, natural triggers so that they will unlock without you having to, like, go talk to people or whatever. So the plan, because long term, the plan is to have a framework version of the mod available where people who just are like, you know what, I'm tired of the questing, will have the ability to just play it as a, you know, kind of treat it like campaign mode, or like, you know, you can go to story mode or campaign mode and just kind of play it with, you know, all you're going to do is focus on building and, like, let the stuff naturally unlock for you as you play. Like, that is definitely, and I think, and one of the questions for that would be, what would your opinion on this be? If we had a framework version like that, where it was like, okay, the main quest is next, do we leave in the settlers, the gremlins and the Rob Lambiers, do we leave those in for that kind of, like, I know we wouldn't on Xbox, because for Xbox they just need the space. Yeah. But in your opinion, if you were offered like a campaign mode version, do you think the settlers that show up as visitors and give you quests, do you think that's part of it, or do you think that gets disabled too?
I personally would think leave the unique settlers in.
That's my gut thought too. It would be that, because they feel just like a lot like the building plan, because they feel like something kind of natural that happens, and it's not part of a narrative that's forcing you through it on a, you know, it's not a linear narrative. It's like they just happen, they do their little thing, and they're a nice little reward for having built up your settlements.
That does then open up the secondary question, though, is what would happen in this hypothetical framework edition to the Ron?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we'd have to come up with some other, like, alternative thing for that. So I think in that mode, we would need, like, some sort of, I don't know, either maybe we change the bar type plot so that it always attracts people, or maybe we add in, I've seen this in other games, they'll have like an inn or like a town hall that attracts NPCs to it, so that way you don't have to go hunting all over for them. And then, like, you could even do something like, you know, have like a bulletin board you, like, grab a sheet off of, you know, kind of like the thing in Concord, and it would just lead you to the characters. Like, you could do something like that where it would be a mechanical device instead of a person. So those could solve that, maybe. But yeah, the Ron was would be questionable whether, I don't know that, yeah, because he could technically still fit in there, because even if you don't do Jake's questline and you go to Diamond City at the beginning of the mod, he's there, but I don't think he offers you the settler mechanic until after Jake, if I'm not mistaken. I think first you have to do the quests to get the Powells and choose Anton or Audra before you can actually get access to his service, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. You can't use the Ron's recruitment services without doing Jake's quest line.
So that's another route we could go too, is if we could just leave the Ron in and just have it like that. He just open up that loop right away, because his dialogue, other than the quest stuff, he doesn't refer outside of the main quest. His whole dialogue loop is set up to work without him ever mentioning Jake or what the player's doing or anything. So that could be another route. But I think from, you know, if the idea is to make everything feel more organic and less tied to a linear quest line, then yeah, doing some sort of physical object would feel better from that perspective, I think, than going to the Ron. Because I think the Ron would have too many vibes of like, oh, I'm playing through Jake's quest line. He kind of has like he's forever linked to that quest line now in people's heads.
Yeah.
But
it could even be maybe a function on the city planner's desk or something.
Yeah, we could. I like the idea of introducing more stuff, though. I do like the idea of a new plot class. That's always fun to have. It would be a fun utility plot, like late game, right? Like a new commercial plot, like the inn, and then that would draw. It would be a way to attract more special settlers. That also, although that does push it toward mid to later game, though. So
yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's quite tough to get the with the chance of them randomly spawning. It's quite tough to get them early game anyway. So.
Right. Well, that could be another change we could make too. Like if once we, because one of the reasons that, because the natural spawn, if you don't go through the Ron's quests, they take a lot longer to start showing up. But that was because we wanted to encourage people to go play through the main quest, and like that's a nice reward. Go do Ron's quests, and now people start flooding in. Is that if we went in a framework edition, we could adjust that and be like, okay, now, just like we'll just tie the appearance of the settlers to small, reduce their appearance requirements. So instead of it, I don't remember what the number is under the hood, like how many commercial and recreational plots you have to have before visitors start showing up, but we could reduce those numbers. We could even change them to be like, okay, well now it doesn't require commercial and recreational. It just has to have a town of X people. Once you get to 7 people or something, it's eligible for visitors to show up. Something like that we could do for the framework edition to kind of, because what you want is like at least this is what I want when I play games like this, is a drip-fed experience where it feels like there's more and more complexity introduced over time, and it's not all flooding in on me, both for the immersive part of it, of like, I want this to feel like this is a real world, but also just so I'm not overwhelmed when I'm trying to get started.
Right. Yeah, I've tried quite a lot of the city building gameplay loop is basically my dream game. And I've tried a lot of other games that do this sort of gameplay, and the overload of information at the start of the game can be very overwhelming.
Yeah, I agree. I played Stellaris somehow I managed to not play that game, and I just played it for the first time, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. And like, I spent my first session for the first, I played the game for 4 or 5 hours. All I did was read the whole time. I didn't do a thing in gameplay because I was just trying to figure out what all the buttons were. And that was with 0 of the 40 expansion packs they have for that game. And it was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So that, but that to me is one of the, that's how, or what I'm trying to fix with HQ. And I know we still haven't fixed that, of like, when you go do HQ, this is one of the things where we had a problem, and this is a common issue we have in development. We're running into it with Chapter 3 as well, but what we did, I'll talk about it a little before I go into the Chapter 3 part of it. So when we're planning out, like once we decided, SS2 was going to be all story driven, figuring out ways to introduce all the new mechanics and everything, or introduce some of them through character, and do it in a way that doesn't break up the pacing of the story or make it feel artificial, is a big challenge. We talked about that earlier with like trying to find places where it makes sense to leave a pause. So it's like, okay, maybe go check on your settlements. We had the problem with HQ of, okay, we have like a ton of concepts we have to introduce. How do we do that in a tutorialized form, that feels natural and doesn't break up the pace of things? And like, I know we didn't hit the mark there. Like I think it's still too much information. Because we also, when we were doing it, of like, well, we want to give the player the freedom to just tinker. So like, I think the compromise we had was we ended the tutorial sections like the straight streamlined, like, okay, just build this. You only have one option. Upgrade this. You only have one option. Assign this person department head. You have one option. Where it was like, you just didn't have any choices. Was after we unleash the choice, we just say, you can undo anything you did. And so like to kind of say like, just build stuff and see what happens. But I think the feedback I've read on it are that may have worked, but because there were so many bugs, it made it feel like nobody understood the mechanics. Would you agree with that assumption or with that take?
That's roughly what I would say has been the biggest issue with it too. Between all of the bugginess and the jank of being in the Bethesda engine, a lot of people have I'd almost say misunderstood what HQ is trying to do.
Yeah.
And so then they've got overwhelmed and confused both at the same time, and just sort of wanted to wash their hands of the whole experience.
Yeah. And I'm curious a little, because it's definitely 2.0 I've got most of the stuff working as intended now. Like you click on the room control and pick an option, it actually does what it's supposed to. The unassignment issue is forever unfixable in this engine. But at least like it's when somebody reports this, I know exactly what the problem is. Like, it's like, okay, well, somebody just got unassigned. No problem. We can fix that. Or we can tell you how to fix that yourself in the game. But like everything now, I think in 2.0 so far works as advertised. So people who are coming across it new for the first time should at least have that part on their side where they're not feeling like, oh, I did, I remember the worst offender for the first 4 or 5 months of Chapter 2's release was the supply agreements would just not work correctly. They would sometimes they would connect, sometimes they wouldn't. Then you'd come back and they'd be broken. And like we fixed that all. We rewrote all of the caravan code in the mod. So I know from talking to our beta testers that they've not complained a single time about any of that. Have you run into any issues with that since this new patch?
Not that I've seen regarding the. I did notice that the caravan code does seem to be a lot faster to respond now.
Oh man, if Pra wrote, so he wrote in his code. We had a little group of coders on our development Discord, and we were discussing like how to deal with the speed of the caravan code, and like the solution we all kept coming to was like really like, okay, yeah, that would technically work, but man, is that a lot of work, and man, is that ugly. And Prod did the work, and he like buried at the bottom. He moved all the code that handles it to the bottom of the script and said, beware, like do not look past here if you if you care about good code, because it just looks so bad. But it worked. It's made it a lot faster. It's very snappy. And it's supposed to do IDEC gave us the code to do the minimum spanning tree, where you have like you don't have like the spider web going on your map anymore, so it'll actually look like sensible supply lines, which is nice.
Yeah, I did notice that after installing the HQ2 beta, my lines on my caravan map all like redrew.
Yeah,
and that it actually looks a lot neater.
Yeah, it was.
That'll make a lot of people happy.
It was like if you I know you said you're still digging in and finding stuff. That one of the upgrades for everybody else listening that you get in HQ 2.0 is the ability to increase the connection distance of caravans. And so like had we not fixed the spiderweb problem and then introduced that, the mess on your map would have been horrible. Can you imagine if we like double the distance settlements could connect, and then every settlement connects to every other one in distance? You would have just had this crisscross mess across your whole map. So
we wouldn't even be able to see the settlements.
Yeah, exactly. You would be able to see nothing. Like, well, I think they're covered. These lines cross in front of it, but could have been from the 10 surrounding settlements just happened to connect to each other. So yeah, that was like one of those the required things on there, is to get that code in, just so that we could offer that upgrade. Because it's one of those, and some of those upgrades in HQ, and this is one of the things where I'm curious to see if add-on pack authors play around with this at all, is that like those types of upgrades, if you're playing and filling out the map, like you can just imagine you're just building every single settlement, you don't need something like that, right? But for role-playing purposes, it could be cool to be like, I'd want to, just take over these settlements, and I want them to connect to these. Is like, then upgrades like that could be fun. Of like, we did some of that. It'll be curious to see, because the HQ system is so open-ended about what you can do for projects in it. It's not just building. Like, as you've seen now playing around with it, you can do all sorts of stuff. You can tinker with settings. You can create just upgrades, send people out missions. It'll be interesting to see how many non-building things we get from add-on pack authors. Like if people do stuff to tinker with the rules, or flavorful things like that, where it's like, well, it doesn't have like necessarily huge impact, but it feels flavorful to have, and maybe allows some new RP possibilities. I'm really curious if we get anything going in that part of the development cycle, because for the most part, like 80 to 90% of mods for SS2 are more visual stuff, right? It's more building plans, it's more city plans, very few tweaks, very few like, here's some new gameplay.
Yeah, I actually have a couple of ideas myself for things to add there, but I'm waiting to make that decision until I see what chapter 3 brings.
Fair, because chapter 3 could, even the marketplace I mentioned is going to be a pretty big game changer for the way people balance stuff out and everything. But that, I mean, that's kind of like, that's how I feel about some of the HQ stuff too. So there are some elements of it that will not get finished until 3.0 and chapter 3, because like there are certain elements there I could make them in. Like there are some things that I could do with security that I'm not doing because I know what's coming in chapter 3. So like there's some things where there'll be some question marks where people are like, well, why didn't you do this with them? And I'm like, it's because we still got one more chapter to go. So yeah, I feel you on that. There's a certain amount of things where I'm just not going to do them yet until we have the full picture in place. Because not only is chapter 3 story, but we've got a whole new mess of gameplay. So you know what I realized we haven't done? We've been talking for over an hour and I haven't done any questions from people. So let me go back through chat here. Okay. Let's see here. So Valen says, and I have the old chat. So you guys, this is messages you guys sent me from an hour ago. So Valen Love says, Yogi, can you talk about how you would balance SS2, and KG, what are your thoughts on the ideas? So is there anything like the big balance changes you would like that you would make if you were in control of the numbers?
Well, as I sort of implied earlier, with the release of Chapter 2 and now HQ version 2, a lot of my earlier anyone that's been around the forums a long time will remember I used to complain a lot about the mod was not rewarding enough for the player character. My opinion on that has since changed with the new HQ and some of the things you can do in there that may or may not be officially supported. Specifically,
I take it you figured out the trick you can do to get access to all the resources yourself.
Yes, that was what I was just about to say, but I won't go into it. I'll leave that to everyone else to figure out for themselves. And on the topic of rewards, things like Captain Wes's armor, and now these 2 new guns we get, Lupe's and Paul's rifle, have helped a bit for that too. And I have a feeling that Chapter 3 might include a couple more of those sort of things.
Oh yeah.
In terms of the specifics for the numbers, I have a couple of very minor things, such as the wages you can pay your people in HQ now. I would make those numbers a little bit lower.
Are those high? I don't. That's one. Actually, it's so funny thing. I have with the beta testers. I have a feedback meeting on Friday to get information like that, of like things where it was like, I did the numbers in a spreadsheet, but those don't necessarily reflect reality, right? Like it sounds good on paper, because from my sight line of like what's on the numbers are caps are almost unused in settlements. So like I think one of the more common questions from new users is, how do I get those caps on the right side of my screen?
It's only slightly too high. Especially if you put in the secondary policy to make their pay scale off their stats.
Yeah.
It's probably a little bit too high. Although it is funny that the best paid person in my HQ right now is Strong.
That's appropriate. He would intimidate you into giving him any raises you asked for.
Yeah, I find that kind of funny. Other than that, now I haven't played with full difficulty in quite a long time, so I can't speak for how the numbers go for things like maintenance and that sort of thing anymore.
Yeah,
but I'd have to sit down and actually dig into that to be able to say much more about the balance at the moment.
Well, I mean that to me says we're in a good place. Like if there's no glaring issue, if there's not a ton of glaring issues, like obviously if math whizzes out there can look at it and say, they can find the flaws. They can be like, well, the value of this doesn't quite match up. You're better off doing this than this. And I'm okay with those little unbalances, because then that's room for people to min-max and discover that there's like, oh, there are some optimal strategies you can come across. But things like the wage thing you just said, where it's just like, it feels bad. Like those are the ones I want to nip in the bud. And I want to get those under control, so there's no feel bad things. Now I'm aware of one in component that a lot of people have talked about, which is that lead is really hard to get. And that there's another one. I don't remember which it is. There's 2 of them we intentionally made hard to get because we knew the marketplace was coming, to where it was we wanted to make sure that this was like a. So this is a funny thing that happens in gameplay development that I've learned over developing some settlements, especially in this kind of gameplay, is in order to make interesting mechanics and rewards is you have to first introduce some pain. You have to introduce something that is interesting but becomes irritating over time, and then you give them and then the solution is the reward. And it's easy to create solutions for the irritating things that Fallout 4 already has because we just accept those as normal. But when we introduce new pains, that becomes less fun because you didn't always have it. Because it was like, well, I didn't sign up for that. I played Fallout 4. I don't want that pain. I already have other pains to deal with. So like diseases were one of the hardest ones for us to get in a good place during testing, because it was like everybody was focused on trying to fix the disease problem, and like how do I stop the diseases? I don't have enough resources for sanitation. So we eventually we had to cut the numbers way down on how fast diseases were coming in, and then we just hid the sanitation bar because it was distracting. Of like, well, wait, how do I get more cleanliness? I have to fill my bars. So like some of that stuff comes into play with the numbers, which gets with trying to introduce these things like that. So like introducing this idea of the there are going to be some resources that are harder to get, and you can solve it late game with things like the industrial conversion, is hard to introduce because people naturally like having a new pain introduce them on a game they like is pretty challenging to do in a way that people will accept it, I guess. Let's see.
That was the next question that Valen asked there was actually about diseases.
Oh, okay. I'm still way up high, so I'm still catching up on old ones. So let's see here. Charles Holder, what are the requirements for power transfer stations sending power to HQ? So once you get power transfer unlocked and you have access to that point of the quest in HQ, you just have to build power transfer in a settlement and assign someone to it, and then just have surplus power there. But from what Yogi's saying, it's a little funky right now. Some of the power transfer can be funky for some of you. Now, I've tested that extensively to make sure it works with HQ, but there obviously the issue Yogi's having could be affecting you as well, Charles. So it's on my short list now to address, because I want this HQ patch to be as bug free as we can get it, because to me this is like its rebirth attempt. And so if it comes out and it's all buggy again, then people are going to those people who dismissed it and tried to give it a second chance are not likely to give it a third. Let's see here. Okay, Joey Bird, I asked above, but I forgot to tag you. I wanted to ask if there was any way for me to be able to download episode 2 on the Series X. We have a 2 gig mod limit. Yes, you can get chapters 1 and chapter 2 on Xbox. The search feature in your Xbox sucks for Bethesda. Like, they only will return 100 results. So if you search for like Sim Settlements, you won't even get Sim Settlements, the original mod, because there's so many things that reference it in their descriptions. Your best bet is to go to Bethesda.net, log in there, and then find the mod in there, because their website search is decent at least. And then if you favorite it in your Xbox mod screen, it'll show up a little easier to find. Morgan Taylor, just wanted to say I'm working my way through the old videos so I can enjoy the live streams. Your work has added countless hours to my gameplay. Well, thanks for saying that. You got a lot to catch up on. We've been doing this for a long time now. Let's see. Valen, posting my question again in case you got lost. Yogi, can you share your thoughts on balancing? Okay, that's what we just covered. Secondary question. I know the disease mechanics. Okay, this is what you were talking about, right, Yogi? I know that disease mechanics were bugging you for a while. Do you want to talk to KG about that? Yeah, let's talk more disease, because it is one of those ones where I was pushing for them to be more intense, but the testers, the alpha testing team, convinced me to tone it way down. So where do you land on it now? Where do you sit on it?
It's a tricky one, because I can, like a lot of things, I can see what the intent kind of was. So it's hard to separate my own thoughts from what I think is trying to happen. I'm of the opinion that I play with it turned off now.
Okay.
I just turned disease off altogether.
Sure.
it just feels to me like it is more difficulty for no reward.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like it's like the and that's one of those things where it was, this is what we were just talking about introducing a new negative so that a thing we unlock later feels like the reward. So that was like the getting access to the hospital and the sanitation and the science department became the reward that they offer is easing the pain of an old thing. So it's one of those ones where like had settler diseases been in the game from the beginning and there was no solution to them that Bethesda offered, then we'd be bringing this great, then people would be like, oh, fantastic hospital plots and, vaccines. But because we introduced the problem too, it's a tougher sell. It's kind of it's a weird thing. I don't know how to get past that mental block of it. What do you think? Did any, like when you first saw the mechanic and you were tinkering with it, obviously you think about the game in terms of like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Am I getting a reward for this? What kind of rewards do you think that we could introduce in the disease system that would make it worth your time, worth engaging in?
That is a very tricky point because I can't think of a logical way for that to give a reward.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of some sort of your settlement has gone a week without anyone having any diseases. Here, have some bonus caps or something.
Sure.
That just feels like it's only there because it has to be there, rather than actually making sense.
Right. Yeah, everyone has a no disease party and showers you with caps. Well, like something that just came to mind that's not something I'm planning or a thing, but like, what if it was something like after a settler was cured from all diseases, their endurance increased because now they have natural immunity or something like that. Like to where there was some sort of like the settler experiences some sort of health, some sort of benefit, or maybe their health goes up. Maybe the health pool goes up a little bit after that. Something like that to where it would be, small incremental little rewards where in the grand scheme of thing over time, it would become quite valuable.
That's not bad. Getting the numbers right on that would be tricky, but
yeah,
I'll leave that to something else.
Yeah, that's the spreadsheet gurus can take care of that.
I really can't think of. I mean, the implementation of it as it stands right now is pretty good, although I do have a question related to, we were talking before about the Framework Edition.
Yeah.
Because that would not include the quest line, that means it doesn't include HQ, which means you don't get access to the science department.
Right. So that would be another problem we'd have to solve. That's a problem for future Gath to solve. Yep. It would probably be something like we bring in like a research class plot, like a new municipal plot, or a I don't know, where maybe back on industrial, and it would be something like you just get a computer to access to activate that stuff. Less exciting than the but it's effectively the same thing, right? It's not like you talk to Cassandra and she tells you about how she's designing the particular vaccines. So it might just be something like a terminal upgrade system where it can effectively exist without the science department. It would just be a timed thing, and maybe it just costs resources. So we could do it, but it would definitely require a new system introduced to handle that from the perspective of disease cures and vaccines, which are pretty clutch to the way it's designed right now, right? Because like the disease cure item you can hand out gets useless pretty quickly unless you go invest in the science department. So
on that note,
yeah.
Mentioned a few times, will there ever be a toggle so that the player can catch the diseases?
It's actually already coded in. I haven't exposed it because I'm like, this seems like it would get very frustrating, especially like, and then like, does that make it so that players want to avoid their own settlers? So the code is there to handle it. I'm just not sure if it's worth putting in there, right? Like it would be one of those things where kind of like there's a couple of options in some settlements that are available, but they're not even enabled for survival players because I'm like, this is too intense. So one is death from diseases. I'm like, that's too much for most people. Would be like finding dead corpses, all dead settlers everywhere, and being like, what the hell is going on? And I think the same. I think the diseased player might be this in the same boat where it's like it's very flavorful and it's kind of interesting, but I think it might be too much. But I mean, I'm always down to like add more challenge. Like that's why like part of SS2, like there's so much code to support the component category simple mode, because I know there's some people who just love they want their game to last thousands of hours, and so the more depth and complexity they have to deal with, the more it stretches out the experience. So I'm cool with adding it in, and like I remember when I set up the disease system and got it working, it was like, well, there's like the player is effectively an NPC that the player can control with their movement. You know, like they have buttons to control, but it's still from the game, the world, or the engine's perspective, the player's character is just another NPC. So the diseases would all work on the player. So maybe.
One thing with doing that though is, do we ever get the recipe to craft disease cures?
Let me check. Let me see if I have the CK open right now. Let's see here. Let's go.
That feels like something you should get as a reward from doing the Nightingales quest line, but I don't think you do.
I know it's on my list of potential to-dos. I just don't remember if we actually did it. Let's see it under magic potion, disease cure all known. Let's see, use info. Okay, yeah, no, not currently. So yeah, that you are definitely not the first person to suggest that, and definitely something that we will do at some point. But yeah, you should be able to craft those instead of having to hunt down to buy them, because it's not easy to find them necessarily. I mean, I think the only argument against them is it gives like a great use for the clinic, right? To me, always have some of those available for sale. But I think like having played this myself just in this playthrough, like I need one for every settler right now. So it's like where can I acquire like 150 of them? It's like, you know, what crafting would be the way to do that. And especially with the chem lab at HQ, then you could easily be like, okay, well, I'm going to just use HQ resources, quickly craft a whole bunch of these, and then run around on a healing mission. One other thing, so I know I think you said in your forum post, you haven't run into any disasters yet. So with the disasters, with the exception of one of them, we have the ability for the player to help. Like they can basically go handle the disaster themselves if they don't want to let their settlers do it. And technically, diseases originally in our design plans were supposed to be a disaster for HQ. It was going to be like something that could happen. But when we started coding it out, it was like, well, I mean, why wouldn't they have diseases in settlements? And then we started planning it all. And it's like, oh yeah, this makes like an interesting story element, and it ended up how it did. But one of the things that we could add as a fun little Radiant side quest to do would be just for RP purposes. Like obviously not, has no purpose from a gameplay mechanics reward perspective other than you could give some XP, is saying like the player could do a little Radiant quest to go cure all the NPCs in the settlement, and they get to go play RP as a doctor. Could be kind of fun, especially if we tapped it in like the animation that the doctors do, where they pull up their little needle and flick it a few times and then fade to black, and you can have the player go do that a few times. So sometimes we put in stuff and like it's not necessarily mechanically rewarding, but it's just super flavorful. I'm down with stuff like that too. All right, going down the list. Gavman, does power transfer work for all power generating things? Vanilla generators, WRIK, powered conductors, municipal power plots? No, it only. Well, actually, no, it does, because I've done. It should work with all power, Gavman, as long as the settlement has a power transfer station. Now, that is for HQ. I think that's the case. I think you can just spam once you have a power transfer. I'm pretty sure you can just spam power generators. I would have to go check the code to see if it works between settlements with the municipal. My gut says it doesn't. I think it's only municipal generated power is shared between settlements, but I'm fairly certain with HQ you can just spam whatever generators you have. I'll have to go double check that. Have you seen one way or the other, Yogi? Do you know offhand?
Sorry, my audio keeps crapping out here.
Uh-oh. So I can't remember offhand if the power, so I know power transfer between settlements, I'm fairly certain only counts municipal generated power, but I believe that HQ counts any surplus power in a settlement with power transfer.
Yeah, that sounds like how I thought it worked too, was that between settlements it only does the municipal power.
Yeah, and I think there was a technical reason I had to do it that way, Gaffman, but I'm pretty sure it's only municipal between settlements. But it's one of those things where, like, if I can figure out that's not like intentional to pigeonhole people into building municipal power. I think it was like a technical limitation that I couldn't solve at the time. So I just was like, all right, well, this will suffice. So the intention is for them to be able to share any surplus power they have. But I believe it does not currently work like that. Let's see. Charles Holder, a fellow gamer, is having problems with no power going to HQ from the power transfer plots, even when having 2 advanced power stations in one settlement. My hope, Charles, would be that is something that gets resolved with all the bug fixes in 2.0. But otherwise, I think, at this point, like, we have the code changes to 2.0 are so dramatic that it's not worth me going back and looking at the live code, given that 2.0 is, 10 days away, 12 days away. So if you still have that problem, or your fellow gamer is still having that problem after the 2.0 patch, then I can look at the save and see if I can figure something out. Fell in love. I'm really excited for the Stellaris Marketplace to come to Chapter 3. Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty big game changer for component players, especially. But I think it'll have it'll be useful also for even people playing on the regular complexity or the mid complexity who have maybe shortages of rare materials in their early game, and they're trying to get into like upgrading their recreational plots or whatnot. And then it's straight up useless for people playing on simple complexity, which is fine. So not everything. Like, if you're playing on simple, you obviously want less mechanics. So. I'm okay with more difficulty, but in the diseases case, it felt more tedious than difficult. So I think one of the things that we went back and forth with the alpha testers with diseases, and I think it's the same problem that you and I have been talking about earlier, Yogi, about the need to finish quests of, like, it's everyone, a lot of people feel the need to deal with the diseases. So it's almost like the disease, like, I almost feel like it might be that the disease cure was a mistake. That maybe it was like, by introducing that, you give player this impetus that they're supposed to go around and cure people, when in fact that was meant to be like an option for people who really care about the numbers or who really want to just RP it, but it wasn't meant to be something you need to do, because the diseases in the early game are so like, they have almost no impact, right? Like, if your farmer gets -1 agility, that doesn't matter at all. Unless of course they get to so many diseases that their endurance tanks to 0. So like, if somebody who has a 1 endurance, then obviously a disease matters, but otherwise it's completely irrelevant. And like, the diseases are designed so that they are released in order of severity. So it's like, all of the 1 stat point diseases have to happen before the 2 stat diseases, before the 3, etc. And that was done based on feedback from, because at first we had it where it was like, it was a % chance, like the low stat point hit ones were more likely to occur, but you could still get a random bad roll and get the Black Plague right away. And it was like, yeah, that's too much. That's like making it impossible. Like, then that settlement's basically dead. And so it might be that the reason it feels tedious and like a chore is because we give the option to deal with it, which would be one of those funny, like, the gameplay idea was fine, but it's kind of like how to some people radiant quests are like evil, and like that because like, even though really they're just like extra content for people, like that maybe it was be better for Bethesda to not ship them at all in their games, because they just feel cruddy to so many people. It might be something like that. Let's see. Chris McLam, I've thought that if the diseases once cured had a chance of giving settlers a single positive trait. Right now, once the diseases are cured, they make that settler immune to that disease forever, so that they won't get it again. So that but there are so many diseases, like, that's not really a good strategy. like this, the ultimate strategy is to either get your sanitation up high enough where diseases are almost impossible, or to get enough hospital coverage for all your settlements. Like that's the solution to the disease problem. And then like the disease cure and immunity is a good long-term strategy, but it takes so long that it's not like your short-term should be build up a hospital in every settlement, and then eventually get, or not in every settlement, in like every region, because hospitals are regional, and then get like one sanitation plot in every settlement, and that should get your diseases mostly under control. Bell and Love, Kingath and Yogi. Time to avoid all of my settlers now so I don't catch diseases. Thanks for that nightmare fuel. Yeah, the player diseases, I think some people would be into it, but I think most people it would create, even though it would be immersive and realistic, it would create like bad gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, disease cure crafting, Velen loves it. Let's see, Velen, Yogi, who is your favorite SS2 NPC, and why is it Cola?
Cola is definitely in the top 3. I would actually say of the entire extended cast, Gremlin is my favorite NPC.
Gremlin's your favorite? Gremlin's a big hit. I think when we did the poll for like who the favorite settlers were, I think it was like it was Carne Assad and Gremlin were the two that most people were voting for.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I voted Gremlin and Dr. Jones were my 2 for that one.
Oh, the Institute doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's she's one of the, I'm trying to think if we have a second. Do we have a second Institute character? I'm pretty sure I think she might be the only one. Maybe we have 2. But that's like
there is another character added by Chapter 2.asm in the Institute, but they presently don't do anything.
Oh yeah. That's a plant for something. I won't go into it because that'll be story spoilers. So we have been doing this since the beginning of, we occasionally plant a character somewhere, so that way you just get used to seeing them, and they start to feel like a vanilla character. Like that is something we have done. There's a couple of points we have done that. And the intention, and like Darcenia just is always running around Diamond City. And then when you meet Darcenia 2 and you go check in your old saves and be like, oh wait, is Darcenia a resident of Diamond City? And yes, she is, because we plant her in the game right away. And there's a couple of other characters that I won't spoil, and the one you're talking about is one of them. Okay, I finally caught up to all the questions. That wasn't as bad as I hoped. So it looks like a lot of chats just talking to themselves. So, all right. Well, we made it to midnight, Yogi. Thanks for staying up with me. Did we miss anything you wanted to discuss tonight? Was there any points you want to bring up about? Because this has been a good exercise to talk about SS2's strengths and flaws. Like I like the balance, because like I am of no disillusion that we have made some masterpiece of a game. Like there are experienced many developers out there making phenomenal games, and we're trying to do our best here in our hobby time. So there's always room for improvement. So anything else you wanted to bring up before we break for the night?
I don't have any other complaints that you aren't already aware of.
Yeah.
Let me think. Oh, I've got nothing actually.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Like I'll read them on the forums and everything, or in chat about HQ 2.0 once you had more time to dig in and find all the secrets. My bet is you found most of them already, because it's not as it's more of this patch is more about going wide than deep. It was like filling in all the missing elements. Like the gameplay loop was like the disasters are like a necessary element. You can't have a gameplay system without a punishment mechanic, otherwise there's no point to it. It's kind of like why, like even though like Bethesda's punishment mechanic for settlements is really lame, it's those sad settlement attacks, but without them there's no impetus to actually do to care about the numbers, and so like that was like a pretty important missing element, and then something to make admin and security interesting, to actually want to put points into them. So it was more about filling in all those gaps and making sure that there's a full game. in HQ. But either way, once you know, it'd be interesting to hear what your thoughts are after you get a chance to experience it all, see the disasters compared to, you know, like you have, I'm sure, vivid memories of how it was at launch. So I'm very curious if we pass the test of the 2.0 overhaul delivering on the promise.
Well, I haven't seen any of the disasters yet, but I did find where the fire extinguishers kept. So.
Nice. The fire extinguisher is so cool. That was Nihar made that for us a long time ago. And what's really cool about it is the NPCs will use them too, and they actually will. I actually coded them to fight the fire. They'll actually run around and spray the extinguishers. So I'm excited for people to see that happen. But,
I did have another. I posted it in the thread you made in the wiki subsection of the forums.
Okay, for the questions about mechanics.
Yeah, I posted something I found that I needed clarification on what it was.
Okay, I'll go. That's the thread I haven't been following. I've been more focused on the bug one because I want to get those stomped down. But I will go check that out.
This was not a bug as far as I could see, although my numbers are being a bit screwy in the screenshot. I had that sometimes when I go into workshop mode HQ. Yeah. The numbers don't instantly match up,
and then
it'll say I have 0 logistics energy, even though I know I have 30 or whatever.
Right. So usually what's going on? So there's a quirk with the way workshop mode works. So like we hijacked that to make the HQ command system because we wanted a way where you could easily give out command, you know, like make stuff happen in. That could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be building. So just to give out commands effectively, which is why we call it the command mode in our tutorial. There are a couple issues with it. One is the engine is not capable of updating the list of projects in real time. So, you know, once you build something, it doesn't disappear from the menu because the game engine doesn't support that. And another one is updating the resources available in your, so you know how you go into workshop mode and you can see how much of a thing you can build? We can't update those numbers in real time either, which is weird because if you scrap something, right, like you're in a settlement, you scrap something, you get access to build with those resources right away. But if we manually add stuff to the workbench of being like, okay, let's add our logistics energy tokens to the workbench, it doesn't work if the player's in workshop mode. So they have to exit, and then so all we can do is detect when you exit and then try and recalculate it real quick after you exit. But sometimes it's a little bit slow if you got a lot of stuff going on. So usually it's just like the solution to that is exit out of command mode, you know, wait 30 seconds, pop back in, and it'll usually have fixed itself. Sometimes also the HUD gets real wonky because obviously like hijacking the vanilla workshop HUD was a challenge. It's not super reactive. So sometimes you got to like leave and then come back before your departments will show up. Like you have to like walk outside and come back in, and then the departments will suddenly show up. So that's probably another. Those two HUD issues are just a consequence of us trying to make the engine do what we wanted it to when it really doesn't like doing this. Like it's one of those many things where I'm just like, God damn, I want to make my own game because I want to have the freedom to like make the UI work how I anticipate it instead of having to make you guys jump through these weird hoops, like, you know, trading fake tokens with invisible phantom vendors. So yeah, there'll always be a little bit of jank in HQ from just because we're making workshop mode do something it wasn't meant to.
I should mention for the audience, the issue in HQ with the list of people to assign to departments does seem a lot better now.
Oh, with the like duplicates and stuff?
I haven't seen any duplicates once yet.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that was the solution to that. That's another like weird quirk in the engine. So the way the system for the assignment works is we spawn a model of whatever the NPC's highest stat is, and that model represents them. And then we stamp their name on it, and their, you know, all those stats where it shows like the amount of energy they're gonna give to the department, their current department, the amount of energy they give to that, and their name. It stamps all that information on. Well, what we found out is because we just had one bobblehead for each stat. Sometimes the game, even though they had different names, the game would treat any of the same bobbleheads as the same thing, and then it would stack their names together. So our solution was we created 128 copies of every bobblehead, so that way each person gets their own bobblehead no matter what their highest stat is. So good old janky hacks to make the game work the way we want it.
I don't even want to think about how much witchcraft is going on to make HQ work.
Yeah, that is I remember the amount of time spent trying to understand. So like I didn't write the core code of that. That was written by someone who goes by Baron online. He's he was the person who released the Horizon SS2 patch. So big coder numbers guy, and he coded this like crazy complicated system for allowing HQ to do more than just build. It was like, well, we want it to like be able to have be able to give out commands or send people on missions, and like it was basically like, hey, can you design us a system that can do absolutely anything? And he did. He delivered this crazy witchcraft coding. And I'm hoping we have enough templates in place for add-on pack authors that they don't have to learn it, because it's so complicated. So it was like I started building layers on top of it, because I was like, we had like many long sessions of him just trying to train me on his code, and I was like, oh my god, if I have to explain this in the add-on toolkit, people's brains are gonna melt. But I think we got it now where that won't be necessary. We'll be able to teach it to anybody who's interested in making new stuff, including even things like the missions. Like we programmed in all those AI packages for the missions where people can just plug in the CK. They can just be like, I want they type in a number that means like it's sandbox, patrol, or travel to this location, and then they just like for the location they can choose, do I want to make the player choose a room? Do they want the player to choose a settlement? Or do you want to specifically for your mission pick a real, like go in the game world and pick a target? And so people can set up missions without having to do any coding whatsoever, and we try to do that a lot for HQ. So again, I'm real excited to see what people do with this witchcraft that we've built, because it has an infinite potential, but it requires capturing imaginations, right? Because like the world repopulation system also has this massive potential, but nobody's bitten onto that yet, as far as I know.
I did see a few people suggest they wanted to play with the world repop system, but I don't think I've seen anyone do it yet. So. Yeah,
no. So either it's too intimidating, or maybe I don't know. I would love to actually. I'll throw this out there now. Anybody watching, if anybody out there has started working on the world repop or has considered it but is hesitating for some reason, like contact me. Contact me on the forums. Contact me on Discord, and we'll chat. And we'll see if we can get those roadblocks out of your way. Kooky Alex, thank you for the donation. So Kooky says thanks for all. Well, Yogi, thank you so much for coming on tonight and talking with me about this stuff. It's been fun.
It's been good to be on here, and I do have to clarify that it is only 3:20 in the afternoon for me.
Well, it is midnight 30 for me, so I'm about to fall asleep. But yeah, thank you for coming on, and thank you for helping with the forums. You are well loved in the community. You have so much knowledge, and you're willing to share it and help new folks and others, and I really appreciate it, man.
I'd just like to give back. I've got so many hours of entertainment out of the mod. I thought I'd better. I've got all this stuff stored in my head. I might as well use it for something.
Wow. Well, you're doing a good job, and I hope you'll keep going, and hopefully we can deliver on the vision that you're seeing in your head that's got you excited about the mod. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I will catch you all next Wednesday. Have a good night.